Chiclets fans, what's up? Biz here. If you're looking to rock some fresh new merchandise, head over to barstoolsports.com/chiclets. We got pink Whitney stuff, we got golf gear, we got shot glasses, anything you can find on top of these bucket hats, head on over.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 389 of Spittin' Chiclets, presented by Pink Whitney from our friends at New Amsterdam Vodka here in the Barstool Sports podcast family. What's up, everyone? We are knee-deep into the second round, and we have some controversy in the St. Louis, Colorado series, a no-show in the Sunshine State, and the brilliance of Connor McDavid every other night. So good to watch, but first, let's check in with the fellas. Mikey Grinelli, what's going on, my man?
Nothing really, RA. Actually, just finally got some nice weather here in New York City. So I'm just prepping, getting ready for the Jersey Shore, getting ready for DJs, getting ready for some Pink Whitney Grails this summer. So I'm excited.
What stuff, DJs?
Yeah. Oh, no. DJs is the name of a bar down the Jersey Shore. It's
Only DJs in my car. BELMAR.
Exactly.
Oh, they got a chant?
No, that's like this famous video. Gotta be dancing, gotta be smiling, gotta be shaking that ass. It's like a viral video from, I'm gonna say, 2004, maybe.
Dude, it was like one of the first viral videos.
It's this guy, Biz, with all his buddies in the car, and they're going to DJs, and they are exactly what you think. Just a bunch of juiced up Grinellis in their car looking to go get after it.
Hey, so I know there's like a nice Jersey Shore and then like a kind of like a grungy Jersey Shore. This is more of the grungy side where the actual TV show, that all the cartoon characters from that would go there.
Not really, actually. This bar in particular is kind of known for that techno EDM vibe, but it's in Belmar, which is actually a really nice part of the Jersey Shore. Seaside Heights is actually where the Jersey Shore was filmed, but it was all based kind of off the people that go to DJs.
Oh, okay. So is this the bar that I don't know if it's the Barstool account, but a lot of the Barstool characters go to it. And there's a bartender there, brunette, with absolute missile bombs on her, like kind of like the chick who sat behind the Dallas bench, and she's always pouring Pink Whitney.
Always pouring Pink Whitney Grails. They have this Pink Whitney Grail. It's Pink Whitney in Red Bull, and you kind of have to take it down all at once. It's unreal. The guy, Fun Anthony, just runs the show down there. It's unbelievable.
Okay. Right,
Shout out our boy Rico. RA and Rico have differences. I'm an RA guy. I'm a Rico guy. We don't have to get into that.
Rico Bosco?
He pretty much got Pink Whitney into DJs, I've been told. So he's the DJ's man. He's the DJ king.
He's the DJ's king.
So
Absolute
we
king.
appreciate that, because now all these juice monkeys are hammering home the pink stuff every weekend.
Maybe I could hire him if I ever go back to NYC, because I'm going to have these Rangers fans trying to shank me now.
Very funny story about that. We'll get into that in a little bit. Go ahead, Biz. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing? I was going to ask, what's the beef between Rico Bosco and RA?
I don't know. I just know that there's beef.
Yeah, I've literally never exchanged words with him. And he used to call in Barstool Radio years ago. Like before he had anything to do with Barstool, I'm like, oh, this guy just calls a clown, whatever. And then I muted him on Twitter, and then he blocked me. So I don't know if a block counts when you're already muted. So we literally, I went in the office.
Block count.
Like, RA, you've had some blocking/muting experiences. I mean, we had Talk on the block list, or maybe vice versa. We had Sean Avery in the mix. Now, what made him such a clown, and how did that? And then all of a sudden, did he become kind of a caricature of Barstool? Like Dave just
based
took a liking
on his calls, to the radio, because he was so entertaining. I think he called himself maybe the best call-in guy in the history of like radio. And he
I just want it on the record.
Socks off.
I want it on the record. I love RA, but I am a rider. I am very much a rider, and
you don't want to get blackballed by him. I think you're just a little afraid of Rico.
No way, Rico.
RA's not afraid of anyone though. RA will fucking go at anyone.
He was probably getting Grinelli's dick wet before he met his girl at fucking DJ's fist bumping with the Juice Monkeys.
Rico got me to cut a 3-hour line at DJ's one time. I have the utmost respect for him.
But it's like I did Brandon Walker's show the other day. He called me in through Pick Central, and like I'm sitting literally like 2 feet away from him, and it's hilarious. Like he doesn't look at you. He won't he just pretends I'm not there. It's fucking hilarious.
When you're on his shit list, you're not even getting a fucking look. You're not even getting a sniff.
Hey, you're Johnny Depp. He won't look at Amber Heard. You won't look at Rico Bosco.
That's right. I'm sleeping good at night. So what do you boys?
Well, I wanted to ask you, so how has the whole launch of Shoresy been going? I mean, I've seen the response online.
Obviously, a lot of people like the show already.
Oh yeah, people are going nuts already. Like, have you felt the love from it?
Absolutely. And of course, we've only dropped in Canada, up in Craven, Canada. It's going to be on Hulu this Friday, the 27th, down here in the States. And yeah, the feedback has been tremendous. And it's only been from Canadians. And I know I said it before. I'm obviously going to pump the tires. The show is fucking hilarious. Like, I think it's funnier than Letterkenny. There's never been a television show, a hockey television show before. It's like sort of slapshot, almost like a slapshot TV show in some ways. And the chirps in it are so goddamn funny. I can't wait till it drops next week. We're going to do a full court press with like promos and stuff because, you know, obviously we got a lot of listens in the States too. And yeah, it's exciting. It's pretty exciting stuff.
So Kiso likes to fly a little bit under the radar. I think what he was trying to do is he wants to deflect and us to get somebody on the show who is in it. Like, he's one of those guys who, you know, I don't think he likes that type of attention, but mad respect for what he's done in his whole career. And to you know, to incorporate the Spittin' Chiclets brand with getting you on there, that's pretty awesome. And like you said, the banter and the chirps is, I think that even Brad Pitt at one point like shouted it out on a red carpet saying how much he loves it and how different it is. So when you get Brad Pitt giving you props, yeah, oh yeah, there's a clip of it somewhere. I've seen it where he says, "Oh yeah," he was pumping
Letterkenny or Shoresy.
Well, Letterkenny, but
still,
it's a spinoff, right? Same type of humor and banter. So I've actually seen Terry Ryan's been talking about it in quite a few podcasts, and of course doing promo for it. So, buddy, congratulations! I could tell you got like a little bit of pep in your step since it came out. So I hope you keep ripping with the acting gigs and keep the positive train going, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Season 2 is going to happen, and most likely I'll be back up in Sudbury. What's funny too is my old lady, like she's so tuned out on hockey because like that's all I eat, sleep, and breathe it. Even she was dying at the chirps. Like I had her watching some of it. She was pissing herself laughing at the chirps, and she's like all hockeyed out. So
RA is going to want his own trailer. He's going to have a rider list this long. He's going to want Colombian flown in just for him.
Not me, Paul. Come on.
No, okay, yeah. Sorry.
Wah. So, what you do all weekend? Have any fun, boys? Any excitement? Just take it easy.
Well, I don't know if you want to. I'd like a little intro. Actually, I need a little pep in my step.
And now, our buddy down south in Atlanta, Paul Biz Nasty Bissonette of TNT and TBS. Ooh. What's going on, my man?
It's been fun, man. Like, obviously we've had some really fun broadcasts with getting all this repetition and having the guys around. I think our chemistry is getting even better, and you know, we've been able to let it fly. I'm not even really that tired. I'm kind of just riding a natural high, and the games have been so good. Specifically to me, that's St. Louis, Colorado, and I know we're going to get into it, but the hockey's been great. A lot of shit talking online. Obviously, the Rangers fans were giving it to me today after the Igor Shesterkin performance. But all in all, much like you are, you talked about consuming hockey. That's really all I've been doing lately. Not much fun. Just eat, sleep, and hockey.
Yeah. Pretty much. We should probably jump right into it. But first,
well, we got to give Whit a fucking intro, right?
Yeah, sorry, Whit. I know he always jumps the gun on us. Last but not least, the Whit dog, Ryan Whitney.
What's my name,
going
Skip?
on, buddy? Little delay.
Not much, guys. So I have two things to talk about. One involving Biz, one not involving Biz. The first one I'll bring up, kind of a bananas situation, if I'm being honest with you. Ryder goes to preschool at this awesome school. The teachers, they do a phenomenal job. This woman, Laurie, runs the place. It's a fantastic place to send your kids. They're outside like more than half the day, which is what you want, right? You want your kids active. You want them outside, getting energy out, getting experiences of hanging out with
vitamin
other kids.
D.
Exactly. So there's a fundraiser, right, for the school. And I think that they invite every kid who goes, parents can go, and you're trying to raise money for the school and for your kids, basically. And also there's some auctions. There's 5 auction items, the live auction, and there's a silent auction. So my good friend, Nina, she ran the whole thing. She put together this whole night. And then she asked me, hey, could you come up and maybe help me with the live auction part, right? I was like, yeah, whatever, no problem. I could do that. I could do that in my sleep. So for an outfit, now we showed up and like most guys had like a nice suit coat on or like a blazer and some nice pants. I had on like some khaki whitish pants. I pegged them. I had some common projects on. I looked phenomenal. Biz. Let me tell you, showing some ankle. Some fucking asshole at this event, dude, doesn't say a word to me about my gear. Actually, I'll backtrack it.
Okay, we're going back.
So the auction goes great. We auctioned off Ray Bork donated a signed jersey, 2 tickets to a Bruins game next year, and a dinner at his restaurant Tresca in the North End, all paid for. What else was on? Red Sox tickets for this Sunday, like on the first baseline. Those were 2. U.S. Open practice round tickets with or maybe it was regular round with tent for beer and food, good stuff. I got one of the auction things I bought, because the kids get dropped off in the back. So you got to park on this street, then you got to walk way behind. It's kind of a hike of a walk with the kids. And then if you have Wyatt and everyone there, it's got 1,400 kids, it feels like. Everyone at the school has 4 kids. I can't even handle 2. So if you're with Wyatt, you got to get him out of the car. You got to carry him. Then you got to walk right up and you got to walk back. So one of their auction items was a parking spot in the back. So you can just big wheel, right? Because you drop them off at the playground. So you can just big wheel park, basically VIP parking, and you're right there. So then the baby's in the car, you just leave them in the car. So I'm like, Bree, she's in the back. She's doing the auction, with the numbers, trying to buy something. I'm doing the auction. I'm like, you get that fucking parking spot.
This is like the Disneyland Fast Pass.
Yeah, I'm done walking up that hill with the kids. I want to go in the back. So there's a pregnant woman there who has kids or kid at the school. She's up front, and I'm starting at 100. She's like 100. Someone goes 150, 200. She went boom, 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 up to 700 or 800. And I'm like, Jesus, we gotta let her win. I mean, she's 8 months pregnant. So she wins, but boom, all of a sudden the director of the school says, we got a second spot. We can auction off a second spot. So I got that one. So long story, there's 2 spots. So auction ends, great night. It went from 7 to 11:30. Everyone was catching a good buzz. I actually left at about 9:15 though, because I had to watch the games. I'm doing my job. I'm a professional watching hockey games. So I get home. I'm all excited for game 2, the Battle of Alberta, and I'm just kind of scrolling through Twitter, and I see a picture, and the comment is, "Who the fuck dresses like this?" And it's a picture of my legs. And my buddy Billy Ryan's in the picture because he just had surgery. She's got a walking boot on. So he's got, I'm like, that's me. He's like, I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, so I click on the picture of this dude and I'm like, this piece of shit isn't the guy that was at the school. We'll get to this dude who tweeted it in a second. But I'm like, somebody at this event, for our kids, where all our kids go to school, took a picture of me, my bottom half, and either tweeted it and this guy saw it or sent it to buddies, and somehow this guy who tweets it get it. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm in the public, but we're at a thing for the kids, and you're snapping sneaky pictures of me standing right next to me like a fucking asshole.
My blood's boiling right now.
So I really Billy, my boy Billy texts me. He's like, we got to find out who took that pic. What an absolute prick. Not only is a prick to be snapping pictures of me, we're doing something for the kids. He doesn't even have the balls to be like, yo, your pants look stupid, which they did not. I looked freaking great.
I got to see this fit, by the way.
I'll send you the picture. So I had the skinny fat look down pat. What a rhyme that was, if it even rhymes. So I'm like, this prick. I'm like, he doesn't even have the balls to say, dude, your pants are terrible. How you wearing them? You're going to side hold the camera and snap a picture of me at the thing for the kids. So fuck him. I'd love to find out who it is. The school invited people who are incoming, so their kids are going to be going next year to maybe come. So maybe it's an incoming prick that doesn't know that I mean business when you're taking creepy pictures of me at an event for the kids. Then we get to this clown who writes, who the fuck dresses like this? This asshole, dude, I clicked on his picture. Him and his wife had legitimate Building 19 ghetto-ass fake Bruins practice jerseys on at an MDC trash rink with 3 pucks in front of them with their anniversary engraved in the pucks, and he's chirping my gear. Who the fuck dresses like that? Who the fuck wears fake practice Bruins jerseys at a shitbag rink and kneels down on the ice with their anniversary and 3 pucks, you losers? Fucking unbelievable evening at Village School.
No, hey, not gonna lie. I was hoping it went down the path of you outbidding the 8th month pregnant girl on the parking spot, but it didn't. I couldn't. And I'm proud of you for backing off. And I thought maybe that's why they would have been rude enough to tweet that picture. Now, much like how Gallant says we have people in the lineup who can take care of guys like that after the skerfuffle, I don't know how you say it, after the Rangers-Carolina game. Tell me who this fucking guy is and send me in this bag of shit.
I want to find out. I don't know who I hate more. The guy taking creepy-ass sneaky pictures of my lower half at an event for my kids, or the guy who's tweeting me with the worst fake jersey in the world with his wife and their stupid anniversary and 3 ghetto ass. They're probably like fake pucks too, made in Czechoslovakia. So that was ridiculous. That was Friday night. Was that Friday night? Yes. So then Saturday night, I go down.
Wait, time out. How much did the parking spot cost you? And do you get it for a full year?
That's a great question because school ends in 2 weeks. So I hope that I do get it for next year. I actually wonder, do I not get that for next year?
You got fleeced.
I might have just got hosed, but it all goes to the kids. So then I go down, and this kind of involves you. So I go down right now. We're recording Sunday night. It's 8:00. It's about to start. So
Battle of Alberta.
Battle of Alberta. I got it on the TV. So there's a wedding tonight, a Sunday night wedding I couldn't make. But last night there was like the night before the wedding. So I went down. My wife's there. So I went down with her last night, spent the night in Newport. Congratulations, Dean and Petula. It's a Greek wedding. These people get after it. The night before the wedding was basically a wedding. It was crazy. So in the middle of the wedding, like these guys come up to you. I met another family. They all played hockey. Great kid. Good luck to this kid, Nico. He's on the New Jersey Rockets. Big fan. These 2 guys come up to me. They're buddies of the groom. They're like, you fucking hate the Rangers, you piece of shit. Like, funny bastards. I was like, oh, no. I'm like, I kind of hate him, but my boy Biz really hates him. They're like, that motherfucker will get shanked. He shows his face at MSG again. I go, you think? He's like, fuck him. That guy's a piece of shit. I go, Jesus, boys. I go, guys, relax a little bit. They want you dead in New York City. Well, hey, I backed you up. I go, he'll pump your eyes shut.
So we're still waiting for ESPN to make the call on what series they're taking for the conference finals. So who knows if the Rangers advance and let's say they play Tampa, we're going on location. So I'm going to be there on the panel outside of MSG or maybe inside. I would imagine they got us propped outside. That's kind of how they usually do it with like the crowd in the background. I mean, you saw Charles chirping at the Golden State Warriors fans. I don't have a fucking problem, but I'm definitely bringing a few of these people from DJs who are all juiced up on HGH to come protect my ass.
You'd have a hell of a body protection crew.
Avery Zaretsky said that he called me yesterday and he said that he has never seen New York Rangers hate someone like they hate Biz.
Hey, first of all, he tweeted out tonight that I'm dodging him. He sent the jersey that I have to wear because Pittsburgh lost on the broadcast. I have it here at the Four Seasons. I said tonight on the broadcast, I said, because Liam made a crack about me going at it with Rangers fans, and I said, yes, I still have to make own up to my bet. I will. That jersey's going on. So he's trying to stir it up online. Now let's go back to how do you say his last name? Zaretsky.
It's like the Building 19 version of Gretzky.
Yeah.
Same as that dude's anniversary picture. Nerd.
Did he not at one point go after Arizona Coyotes fans for wearing the whiteout because we stole it from the Winnipeg Jets and it was brought over? But meanwhile, today at the Rangers game on Sunday, they passed out white shirts to create a whiteout and he was wearing it.
I believe he said, no. New York would never do that.
So talk about a fucking fugazi. And listen, hung Shesterkin out to dry again. And although Shesterkin let in a horrible goal, he did show up to play another game when they got peppered in shots and played most of the game in the defensive zone. So let's just pump the fucking brakes here on relying on your goaltender when you can't really spend any time in the offensive zone. Now, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here because we're going to end up starting here with the probably the most intense series of them all with St. Louis and the Avs. Anything else before we get going on hockey, boys?
No, let's chat some hockey. Let's chat.
All right. I'll send it back over to you. So fuck the guy who took the picture. And Whit, you're the country club guy. Let me fucking the guy from Welland, Ontario. Let me handle that fucker who posted the picture.
Thank you, Biz.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, before we jump right into it, summer is here, and that means pool parties and beaches. So make sure you stock up and have plenty of that Pink Whitney on hand for your pool parties. You're heading to the beach or whatnot. And if the sun is at your speed, if you're a pasty guy like me, then head over to your local bar. Make sure to order some Pink Whitney there. Either do a shot, mix it with some club soda. Either way, you can't go wrong. Enjoy our 5 times distilled vodka infused with fresh pink lemonade flavor, especially now that the great weather is here. Grinnell, you gassed some Pink Whitney this weekend or what? Of course you did.
He did his tour in the Jersey. You posted the video, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I actually was ripping nips the whole time too, but I had to leave that out of the video because, as you guys saw in the video, I got hit by a car.
You can't have a couple nips and ride a bike.
I don't know. So at the beginning of the video, I asked our camera guys, I said, can you get a DUI on a bike? And it sounds like you can. So I left that out. I wasn't drunk. I was very responsibly driving, but I was in the Pink Whitney jersey, did have a couple Pink Whitney nips as well.
Couple quick things. I know I've mentioned it every podcast here in the last like 3 or 4. We're doing that every Wednesday contest on our social media account. Follow Pink Whitney. We're doing package giveaways. We're doing a beach giveaway, cooler giveaway, golf giveaway. We're doing a bunch of shit. So just follow us on the Pink Whitney social accounts. And I don't have the full details yet, but I will be doing a Pink Whitney tour in Canada this summer where we're doing bottle signings just myself, because I know you guys are going to stay in the States. This is going to be in my free time. I'm going to go around with Pasha. We're going to hit up Winnipeg, Manitoba. We're going to hit up Edmonton, Calgary. I believe we're going to Saskatoon, trying to do Kelowna, and then, of course, Vancouver. So this is in the works. We're going to make sure you guys get all the details, but it's all going to be brought to you by Pink Whitney, and it's going to be a little biz Canadian Pink Whitney tour, and I'm looking forward to seeing all our fans across Canada. I know it's been a while since we've had some activations there due to COVID, but we did not forget about you. We love you. I cannot wait to see you. I cannot wait to beat the fucking wheels off you guys in bubble hockey when I do see you at these bar appearances. So rock on, Pink Whitney, and thank you for supporting the brand. RA, back over to you.
Let's go, baby. All right, Saturday night in St. Louis, the Blues lost goalie Jordan Binnington 6:45 into the first period after a collision with Nazem Kadri and Calle Rosen in his crease. And then they lost game 3, 5-2. And then afterwards was when the real fireworks came. Kadri was getting interviewed by you guys on TNT, and all of a sudden he turns and looks, and he says, not sure if he just threw a water bottle at me. And Jordan Binnington chucked a water bottle in his direction. Biz, have you ever seen or heard of anything like this before? A guy like chucking a water bottle at a guy doing an interview like this before?
I would assume most people have seen it on Twitter or Instagram. Grinelli's going to roll the audio of it, and you could hear the awkward pause. So roll it, G.
I'm sure you're going to get asked about this maybe once or twice over the next few days. So just take us through the collision with Jordan Binnington from your point of view. What happened on that play?
Just a loose puck. I just tried to get my stick in there and, just tried to poke the puck free. I think their weak side defenseman came over and kind of bumped me, and that's, what caused the collision. So, hope he's all right. I'm not sure if he just threw a water bottle at me or not, but.
Wow.
The poise. Yeah.
Not much I could do, man. Not much I can do. I'm just going for the loose puck.
In the midst of the interview, like obviously you're trying to formulate a question and like listen to what the other guys are asking, so you don't really ask the same thing. And I was the last guy to go, and I kind of held Liam off, and I was like, wait, like, did you just tell me that Binnington threw a water bottle at you? Like, and then he reiterated, he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And you could tell that he knew, but he didn't really want to throw him under the bus, but it had already slipped out. I talked to the other guys after. We just assumed it was one of his own teammates trying to like distract him and joke around after a win. You know how you're in and out of the hallway, you're having fun, you're excited you guys won the game, but definitely a bizarre thing. If you guys want to talk about the hit on Binnington specifically, I know St. Louis fans don't want to hear it. Going back to last year, that hit that he put on Falk was bullshit. And Kadri definitely has a past. He has been known to lose his cool. He has suffered based on suspension and length of suspension and losing money, and this reputation will follow him for the rest of his career. Doesn't matter if he's got a clean slate. He's going to be put in the Tom Wilson category. He's going to be put in the Brad Marchand category, and I'm sure that you guys can think of other names off the top of your head, but this is not far removed from that entire situation, to the point where this year during the regular season, they made him answer the bell. And between him and Binnington, there was a stick swinging incident. He was 100% going for the puck there. If Rosen would not have made contact with him, he wouldn't have crashed into Binnington. That's what I believe. I've seen still images. I've watched every replay from every angle. And that, from a player that has been in that situation, going to the net, knowing in the direction that he was going, and also seeing the fact that if he gets his stick on that first, where based on where Binnington is, he has an opportunity to poke that in and score a goal. The result, horrific, because this completely changes everything for the St. Louis Blues, because after watching Binnington, not only at the end of the first round when he came in or towards the middle and the end, and then in the first 2 and some odd games in this round, he was back to Binnington when they went on their cup run. They had all the confidence in the world. Not only did they fucking make every adjustment they needed to in game 2, they were better on faceoffs. They were disciplined. They outcompeted Colorado. They won the loose puck battles. They were better on their breakouts. They were better at slowing Colorado down through the neutral zone. They neutralized Cale Makar like we have not seen all season long. That could be up for debate based on how Cale Makar might be banged up. And on top of it, the fact that St. Louis's back end is a little bit banged up. They're missing Krug. And of course they're dealing with, like, Letty's, I missed a game or 2 last round. Guys are banged up. And the fact that Binnington can play the puck as well as he can, this has royally fucked that team, in my opinion, because Husso right now does not have the type of confidence that he had in the regular season. He, not to his fault, because he got thrown in the middle of game 3. He looks shook. He looks unconfident, and the goaltending cost them that game, in my opinion. When he got up and he went the one way to test it out, he looked all right. But then when he shimmied over to the right, you could tell his either hip or right knee was not doing well.
You could tell right away, too.
Right away. And you could feel the energy leave the building as he went off the ice. Now, credit to the St. Louis Blues fans, because as soon as Husso came on, they did everything they could in order to try to give him confidence. They all stood up. They all cheered him on, but it looked like a completely different, I don't want to say completely different team. They just couldn't get the saves when they needed it after that. And to me, I think that the Avs are now going to win this series based on that. But credit to St. Louis and the way that they were able to rebound after game 1, because they made every fucking change necessary in order to come back and prove to Colorado, hey, we're not just going to lie down and die. We're going to come compete, and we're going to fucking try to run you fuckers through the board. And this, to me, is the most competitive, man-like series as far as physicality. I hope I did a good enough breakdown. I love St. Louis. I love the fans. I'm sorry I don't agree with you guys. And last thing I will say is there has been a few incidences where burner accounts and stuff have said some pretty nasty shit, racist stuff to Nazem Kadri online. That shit, fuck off. It's rubbish. It's bullshit. There's no need for it. It's gross. He should not have to deal with that. If you don't like him as a player and you think that he's dirty, it's one thing. To send those type of messages, fuck off. Put you in a rocket ship and fucking send you off this planet. No need for it.
I agree with him, RA. I don't know. Just because I look at Kadri reaching for the puck, right? And all of a sudden Rosen comes in. If Rosen hadn't touched him, he's reaching for that puck. He's trying to get a piece of it. And then he's kind of skating to the right. He's veering off. Now, I guess how would I know what's 100% going to happen? But without that contact, he's not even really anywhere near him. It sucks to see. I just feel so bad for Binnington. Having met him, good guy, came on with us, spent the time with us. I really appreciate what he's been through since he won the Stanley Cup, right? He lost his starter's job this year. He gets it back. He's playing big-time hockey, and he gets injured. It's just, injuries are so unfair. It doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. But for a guy that was playing that well and had this huge Game 2 victory, they get out to a lead in Game 3, and boom, this happens. It's just such shit luck for somebody who's kind of gone through a lot. So I really feel bad for him, but I'm kind of with Biz. Now, also, I'll say for St. Louis fans, I think the hit on Girard is a big-time hockey hit. That sucks, too. Another guy who got called out at one point, I think at the end of the season, maybe not called out publicly, but he wasn't playing great hockey. Girard was struggling. He was trying to do too much, and he's been a beast in the playoffs, as basically every guy on the Avalanche has. But he's a human breakout. Like, you don't even really talk about him because of how good Makar is, but his edge work, the ability for him to spin off guys, he is such a great, important player, and he's done. And I can't even imagine a broken sternum. Dude.
Oh,
holy shit!
It hurts to read that. Like,
oh my god! And like the guy at the balls, he kind of gets up. You could tell he's in horrific pain.
Watching that in real time was
dude.
it
Barbashev was going about 100 miles an hour. So maybe you want to call a charge, but Biz, how would you describe in terms of because we already chatted about this? How would you describe in terms of you saying it is a clean and legal hit?
So he makes a play on the puck, and what I commend Gerard for is sometimes guys bail out of that.
He did not there.
He did not. And it's playoff hockey, and he advances that puck over to Manson. And when he gets crumbled, you just say, this guy sacrificing his body to try to make a play just so they can break out of their own end. When you have Barbashev breathing down your neck, and I don't know how many of you people know about this Barbashev.
Oh my
God.
God.
If there's one thing he can do, it's he could fucking paint you through the wall.
Bruins fans know from 2019, he was hammering everyone.
He is a wrecking ball. And as I said, if you watch that hit in real time, he crumbles him. And sometimes as defenders, when you make that play, you try to then roll off the hit. And so in some cases, a lot of people were like, well, look, it's from behind, because by the time he finishes his hit, it's like Gerard's face is into the dasher. But it has to do with his size. It has to do with the fact that he's turning after he makes the play. And just like I said to St. Louis fans, I'm sorry about your luck. I know that you hate Kadri, and there's a history there. They end up having to bite the bullet on a clean play at the other end that ends up injuring a guy who is very valuable to their lineup. So it's an eye for an eye in this situation. And it sucks because you want to see these teams at their best, but I cannot sit here and tell you that Barbashev hit was dirty at all.
Would you maybe called it a charge, or could you have accepted a 2 minutes for charging?
But it's like this, man. It's a loose puck. So if he doesn't go for the puck, it's like then it's Barbashev's puck first. It's like that's hockey, man. I've been tweeting it out nonstop on these clean hits throughout playoffs. Like I believe the Zadorov hit was clean. I'm not sure what the other one I ended up posting it on. And there's fans online who are gonna scream and yell and tell you you're a fucking asshole. But it's like, fuck you, man. I was out there. I was in those situations. I know what it's like. I've been given.
You had to throw those hits to stay in the lineup.
I had to throw them, and I had to take them. And I was a defenseman at one point too, and I had to go back and get pucks and get fucking ran through the wall. Buddy, I used to play against Cam Jansen in the old Windsor barn, and he would bark at me before he did it. So not only did I have to fucking take pregame naps knowing this guy would be barking at me and spitting all over me off face-offs, but I had to have him run me through the boards, which, by the way, the old Windsor barn, they were concrete. They didn't even bend at all.
Oh, it was that old glass.
Dude, you might as well have, it was like you might as well had them fucking in barbed wire, for fuck's sakes. Like, there wasn't even glass back then. It was fencing. Okay. So I'm not being a hypocrite here. I've had so many AC separations, but RA, as you said, when you hear about that sternum, it's just like when you read it, you're like, oh. So go, yeah. So
that's a big loss for the Avs, dude.
RA, actually, before we roll it over to you, we should roll the post-game comments by Coach Berube. And then following that, we're going to roll the response, I'm assuming by Bednar, after he heard what Berube said.
Look at Kadri's reputation. That's all I got to say.
Listen, reputation, it doesn't mean anything. It's either a legal play or it's not. We've talked about this with Naz and the way he's trying to change his reputation of making sure that he's playing through checks and plays legal or non-legal. And they're going for that. D and Naz are both going for a loose puck sitting at the top of the crease, skating in there downhill, as hard as they can go. And both guys go in there. They're both going after the puck the same way, and they collide before they go in. So again, unfortunate. Same as Gerard for me. That's a legal play, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah, obviously these guys are going to get their players backs, of course. Berube said, goes to his reputation. And Bednar says, well, why is he bringing up his reputation? It was a legal play. So I think that's par for the course with these guys defending their goalies. As for the hit itself, I mean, we've seen a lot of goalies get bundled these playoffs so far. I can't look at that and say it was intentional based on all the other hits we've seen. Like, I know Kadri, he does have a reputation, but you can't conclusively look and say, oh, he did that on purpose. I mean, we've seen goalies get bundled all playoffs. I mean, it sucks. Binnington, he had only allowed 9 goals on 176 shots since starting game 4 versus Mini, 949 save percentage on an absolute heater, looking like the goalie from a couple of years ago. And then as far as the Girard hit too, Bednar said he had no issue with it. Didn't think it was dirty. Thought it was a clean legal hit. He had no issue at it as well. So I don't know. It just sucks, man, because obviously I got a bet on St. Louis plus 320 for the series. So it's like, I mean, it's not up in smoke yet, but it just sucks because, it's going to be a less competitive series now unless Husso can dial up his competitive level where he was back a few months ago. But first game wasn't so good, man. The results weren't so hot.
Going back to game 2, Perron, just so clutch. He's unbelievable player. They take advantage of Makar coming in and going back to Makar. He ran into the post in game 2. Definitely did not look like the Makar we know. Still better than 95% of defensemen in the league.
But something's a little off, right? He had a great game 3 though.
Unbelievable game 3. Way more explosive offensively. He, they're pressing for a goal, mind you. They're down 2-1 in that game. They win that offensive zone draw, but because sometimes, guys, when you have these set plays off of offensive zone draws, if there's a little delay in the puck battle where it's 50-50 off the hop, it throws off the rhythm. And he got a bit of a shit sandwich thrown up to him along the wall as he's coming down. It creates the 2-on-1 the other way. And I think that Kemper should have had it. And I didn't think Kemper had his best stuff in game 2.
Oh, sorry. Edmonton just hit the post. Sorry. Go ahead.
Jesus Christ. I just had a fucking jammer. I imagine a few people who are driving listening to this, maybe we hit the rumble strips there. So if you could fucking tone her down on the celebrations here. Kemper probably wanted that third one back, that Perron score that went underneath his glove, but a hell of a response by Kemper in game 3. Now going to game 3, salt in the wound, Kadri, power, both teams, their execution in that game had everything. Game 3, easily the best game of playoffs so far. And I say this is the best series right now going in round 2. He ends up tipping that puck in right after the power play ends. They garnered a ton of momentum on it. Both teams are snapping around on the peeps. And then he ends up setting up the eventual game winner where he puts it up the wall. Beautiful play to Lehkonen. And going back to Husso, just like I criticized Kemper for it, Husso, short side. I think he was trying to read past their back door with Byram activating as that net front defenseman and going down the ice to create that 2-on-1. He beats Husso short side. So right there, that's the game. And I'm really, really interested to see not only Husso's response, but St. Louis's response. But usually teams take on the identity of their coach. And Berube, although ticked off, he's like, guys, put it behind us. We still got a series to win here. If you want to hit him where it hurts, you fucking take care of business on the ice. But what was the last thing we talked? Oh, Makar. So you think he's a bit banged up right now?
Based on the first 2 games, he just didn't look like himself. Now the thing is, it's kind of unfair to just discredit St. Louis and say they have nothing to do with slowing him down a little bit. But right. You mentioned like going into the post, and I mean, it's just difficult as the playoffs go on. It could be an injury that nobody even knows about, something that happened so minor that just ends up killing you. And you're playing every other night and you're battling through it. And he's playing 30 minutes a night. But I wasn't able to see. I saw the 10-minute mini game of the Saturday night tilt in game 3, but I didn't get to see it. But you told me on the phone like he was back to his dominant self, just making the easy play and also just looking a little more smooth.
Where he's so dominant is at the offensive blue line. If he gets a little bit of separation from that forward, oftentimes he'll cock it and be loaded to shoot it. And as soon as he sees that forward freeze, he can jolt one way or the other. And he's so quick out of the gate that all of a sudden, just with that forward stalling to respect the shot, he's able to create enough separation to either open up a shot lane or a passing lane, or in some cases enough room to where he can legit just sneak in and get a better quality scoring chance on net in the slot area. You saw one of them that he was maybe a little bit outside the house on the right side where he didn't have the best angle, but nonetheless still a massive threat and definitely looked more like himself from the first round we saw against Nashville. So we're going to look forward to game 4 here. It's going to be going on tonight. There's a few big ones because we got Florida and Tampa in a back-to-back situation, which can close things out. Now, RA, I'm pretty much done on St. Louis and Colorado, unless you had something else to say. I guess one more last note. Landeskog, he might be their best forward overall right now for the Colorado Avalanche. He's winning so many fucking puck battles. He is so good on retrievals, making the big plays when he has to. He looks like he's worth every goddamn cent. Some of you were worried that they paid him.
In terms of him, Biz, this is why if you're able to have such a dominant regular season, he was able to get that knee surgery, right? You know, if you're a team fighting to get into the playoffs, he wouldn't have been able to do that. He got the knee surgery. He probably feels so much better on the ice now. He's able to get the rest. He is more rested. Now, granted, you're coming off a surgery, so it's not like you've been sitting around completely just resting up. But luckily for them and them getting ahead and all those points, and they didn't get the President's Trophy, but who gives a shit? He was able to get that surgery, and now he looks unreal. And he's a real leader, too. He's the leader of that team. You can tell every single time he's on the ice.
Look for Bo Byram to step up. He has been tremendous. I know that he's in a maybe a little bit more of a backed up role where he can play underneath some of those defensemen that we've mentioned. But in the absence of Girard, very similar type player where he can move the puck. He can get up ice. He's a great skater. He also defends well. I'm looking for this young buck to get going. And because of the physicality and everything going on, I'm curious if Curtis McDermott gets in the lineup. That was a massive, massive signing. I play with this guy in Ontario with the Reign. He is a fucking killer. Top 5 toughest guys in the league. And Joe Sakic did an incredible job to address toughness in the offseason for these situations in particular. Very interested to see if he draws in as that 6th defenseman now.
Quick warning, Edmonton's just going on the power play right now after a hook to Trevor Lewis. So if I scream, I scream.
All right.
If he dies, he dies. Oh!
Biz, Jared Bednar did say either Jack Johnson, Ryan Murray, or Curtis McDermott was going to replace Girard. So we'll wait and see what happens there. And also to piggyback on your point about all these assholes saying racist shit to Kadri, Peter Baugh, who covers the Avalanche for the Athletic, said the Avalanche organization is aware of threats made toward Nazem Kadri and is working with local law enforcement to investigate. So
he's a great reporter. He was all over all the water bottle gate.
Yeah, he's.
Can we get local law enforcement into who's sending tweets out with my pants?
Shit. All right, before we get to the next series, we want to let you know that Game Time is the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time is a new ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. They cracked the code on how to score deals on last-minute tickets. Me and G been doing this all playoffs. G, what'd you go to, about 3 Bruins games already so far? Well,
I went to 1, but I actually used the Game Time app for this weekend, going to a Lumineers show. I love the Lumineers, great band, but I'm going this weekend, and I used the Game Time app.
Nice. I'm going to be all over it today. I'm going to try to get a couple tickets for the Celts tonight. Big game versus Miami across the street, so I'm going to try to get over there. It's the biggest last-minute price drops that you can find on the internet for seats that you thought you could never buy. Before Game Time, it was a real roll of dice because you didn't know who you were dealing with, all kinds of shady characters out in front of the barn. No more. Those days are over. You can trust Game Time because they get it done. Download the Game Time app. Go to the account tab to create a login and redeem the code Chiclets for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Once again, download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Tampa, Florida, man, what a disappointment this series has been. Wow.
Oh, my God.
Tampa slapped a 5-1 beating on Florida Sunday to take a commanding 3-0 series lead. The Panthers had 35 shots on that, Biz. It didn't seem like it at all. I mean, this team did not look desperate. I mean, they're about to go down 3-0. Season's about to go down the shitter, and they just didn't look like they were playing with any sort of desperation whatsoever. Corey Perry, man, 5th goal of the playoffs. He's tied for the team lead, just keeps getting it done. But Whit, we'll go to you first. What the fuck's up with Florida, man? Why are they so bad? Like, why do they look so awful?
I think there's a couple different things. Let's say three things jump out to me. They're all pretty obvious. The power play. Yeah, they got one today. Sam Reinhart got them on the board. But holy shit. I mean, you start a playoff 0 for 27 or whatever it was. It's just there's no chance you're gonna win. It's so important. It's so hard to get offense going 5-on-5 in this game now. And that's the one chance you have. And you have so much skill. You're a team who scored 4 goals a game in the regular season, and you just throw up an absolute donut through 8 games in the playoffs. They didn't score a goal. It's so unacceptable. I can't believe how it went down in terms of the power play. Second thing being, I almost want an apology from all you guys. All you guys picked the Panthers, right?
I picked the Panthers in 5.
I had Tampa.
Okay,
I did.
Cornelli?
I picked I picked the Panthers, but I originally had Tampa, and I switched my
all right,
decision.
so Biz and Cornelli can apologize to RA and myself.
You're going to blame me for fucking making you change your mind, G?
I think you just do such a good job, Biz, at convincing our listeners your points that yes, I will blame you. But that's just because you're such a good analyst.
Show of hands. Play a little game at home, everybody listening. Did you think not after shitting the bed on the power play in the first round and getting a little bit of a break, they would have made a couple of adjustments, and one of the hottest power plays in the league all season long with as many guns as they have on that team, would they not have at least got the power play going? Among anything that happened in the first round. Show of hands. Whit?
Okay. I thought their power play was going to get going, but let me say this, dude. It took them till game 3 to throw Hornquist in front of the net. The guy's been in front of the net on the power play, which seems like 15 years in the NHL. Finally, they throw him out there. They get a goal. And listen, they could have tied that game up today. They're down 2-1, and Hornquist makes a difference in front. Waxwade ends up going to Huberdeau. Wide open net, and Ryan McDonough. The shaft of his stick. And that goes back to the point when I kind of interrupted myself in looking for an apology from the Panthers pickers. This Tampa Bay team, guys, what did I say? Yeah. I got a DM from Steven Kampfer, our buddy, former Bruin, longtime pro. You're a genius. You said never bet against Tampa. You don't fuck with this team. They don't even have Braden Point, and they're doing this. And what is amazing is Toronto took them to the limit. Toronto had them. They had them fucking this close. And this team, they're champions. Every single detail, dude. They block shots. They get pucks out. They get on the defensive side. They do what it takes to win. They sacrifice their body. The list goes on and on. They're fast. They're strong. They're mean. They're tough. It is such a difficult team to play against that the Panthers, who made it look pretty difficult against a weak Washington team, maybe they played better than we thought. Maybe Florida just isn't that good. Maybe Florida had no chance in the playoffs with the roster they assembled, which is shocking on the season they had. But Tampa Bay, dude, I mean, how much can you say about one team? They don't even have their best player. And what happens? Kucherov steps up. He's looked phenomenal. And my biggest point, not my biggest point, but the third one I'll say, we got off these airwaves Wednesday night, and I was fuming at an Edmonton Oilers defenseman who decided to leave the front of the net, jump to the back of the net, and all of a sudden leave the front wide open for an easy Calgary Flames goal.
Oh, my God.
And Mackenzie Weegar in game 2. They've played a pretty solid game. It's 1-1. You got this team. You're going to overtime. 20 seconds, whatever it is. And for no reason, he leaves the front. And you're not just leaving the front to maybe go to a fourth liner as the puck. And even then, it wouldn't make sense. It's Nikita Kucherov who does this beautiful shoulder check as the puck's rimming along the wall. And he looks and sees Weegar leave for no reason. And Weegar, what a season he had. He's a great player. Yeah. He's going to make a ton of money, but what's he doing? Kucherov makes a sick dish that Ross Colton said, I saw it was him. I knew I was getting it. And he buries it bar down. And you're sitting there. I was sitting there. I gasped. I sent out a tweet. The tweet made no sense. Oh, my God, series over. Oh, my God, what just happened? I can't believe what just happened. Like, it is amazing to think of that kind of mental mistake last minute in a game, in a second round playoff series. Never leave the front of that. And it was right after we said it. The next evening, excuse me. So it's been a comical list of errors for this Panthers team. And in the end, you look at Kucherov, Vasilevsky, and Hedman, and these fucking guys know how to win. What else is there to say?
Well, first of all, great breakdown. And before I before I talk about the Florida Fugazis, and I will decrown the Rangers as being the Fugazis because the real Fugazis are in the south of Florida. Let me pull out my hotel lotion here. Put them on both hands.
Put the fucking lotion in the basket.
Let me put on some mascara and just stroke this Tampa Bay Lightning team off with both my wrists. And a little they already have 2 rings, these guys, this core group. What we saw in game 7, the third period, them laying out and blocking shots, they have brought it over to the second round and completely put their lives on the line in order to win another series against what we thought, or at least I thought, was a superior team. Let's start in net. Vasilevsky, since that game 7, allowed 1 goal. Game 1 against Florida, allowed 1 goal. Game 2, 1 goal. Game 3, 1 goal.
You can't beat him.
He is a fucking alien from outer space. You cannot convince me otherwise. He is locked and loaded. I want to first apologize to him for doubting him and the fact that I thought that the Panthers were going to beat them in 5.
In 5, folks. 5.
The back end. 7 guys. Coop's gone with 7 defensemen the entire series. I was a little shocked. I know Whit, and you know what? I'll throw it back over to you. I hated going 7 defensemen. Hated it.
When you're a D-man, it's the worst thing in the world. But these guys, it seems like they're just so dialed.
They're thriving on it.
It's like McDonough, Cernak, and Hedman. And then the rest of the 4 are kind of, you know what I mean? It's
then you
different.
got Sergachev, who, by the way,
include him. Holy shit.
On the Ruda play, when he cleared out the goal line, he had 3 guys on his side of the net. They're laying out, blocking shots. You mentioned McDonough sticking the lane with the wide open net for Huberdeau. You saw tonight when Vasilevsky didn't see that shot coming in from the point in game 3. He ends up blocking it with his knee. The attention to detail that this Tampa Bay Lightning team has right now is fucking nuts. You would think that Florida would have it, considering they haven't won jack shit. No, the champs came to play. And as far as the guys up front, not only is it the Malkin Sid type situation where you have Point and you have Kucherov, 2 of the most dynamic offensive players in the world. Well, it's sure as shit, it's hard to cover both of them. Well, when one goes down, you're like, oh, well, now a lot of the focus is going to be on Kucherov. He has elevated his game. Even after going through the flu game 6 and 7, he's been the best forward in this series, bar none, making every play, the key moments, shifting over to Florida on the eventual backbreaker, the Stamkos goal, the 3rd goal in game 3. Horrible fucking change. They beat 4 guys with 1 pass up the ice. He comes inside the blue line, shimmy shakes a little bit, slides it right over in Stamkos's breadbasket. He ain't fucking missing that one-timer. Stamkos, game 2.
Hey, Bob almost had it too. Got to shout him out. Bob hasn't been an issue at all. That was like a question mark.
No. Stamkos, 3 times he went down the tunnel in game 2 from blocking shots and laying his body on the line. 2 Stanley Cups already, still doing it. And then you go, you know, I can't switch over to Florida yet because I'm not done stroking guys off. You talked about the depth. Who are the leading goal scorers for the Tampa Bay Lightning right now with 5 apiece? Ross Colton and Corey Perry. What did Corey Perry cost you in the offseason? $1 million. You know how many people thought this guy had no game left?
Ryan Callahan tweeted out, like, wow, a bunch of GMs are just shaking their heads. How much would he have helped him?
You don't think Florida could use him?
Only good teams, right? Like, you know, if you're a team that knew you were going to struggle, it doesn't make sense. But if you're looking to win a cup, bring him in for the 4th line power play. Look what he's doing.
How about Paul? How about Nick Paul early in that game getting hit in the corner? You know what it looked like? It looked like a grade 1 AC, maybe a grade 2 AC separation. Right back out the tunnel, battling it out right to the final whistle. I'm going to go over to Florida now. Pathetic.
They're gonna make.
Nobody's making plays. Nobody's sacrificing. Nobody's blocking shots. The power play is dog shit. They're a one-trick pony. 3 goals for the best offense in the National Hockey League so far in these playoffs against a team that had to go 7 that lost their best player. All the hockey
Shocking.
that they've played, you think that Florida would have the energy in the balls to be able to lay out and block some fucking shots. They have no offensive rhythm. Their feng shui is completely off. They are all out of whack. Once again, to the Tampa Bay fans, my apologies. I'm putting on the clown nose after I've done giving you the fucking deep throat special. My fucking wrists are, I get the cast on. Bravo to the fucking Tampa Bay Lightning. My apologies. I'm a clown. All right. Sorry for getting so emotional here. But
and if they can close this out tonight, I mean, the rest for the injuries, these guys are all battling injuries. A little more time for Point. It's just, now granted, we have no idea if Point even has a chance of coming back, but wow. The fact that they go up 3-0 in this after what they went through in the first round is shocking. And Edmonton's going back to the power play.
The one thing I will say, Carter Verhaeghe, I call him Carl. The only reason that
be hurt.
He's got to be hurt. The only reason that Florida got out of the first round was because he showed up. That game where they went down 3-0, where they would have went down 3-1 in the series, he had 5 points in that one. If he didn't show up in that game, they were going home, because we have not seen the Huberdeau. We have not seen the Barkov that we have seen from the regular season. And I think they're both top tier. I think they're both top 15 to 20 players in the entire world. But playoff hockey has them right now by the gonads, and it won't let go.
Yeah, in today's game, Paul, Huberdeau, Barkov, and Giroux were combined -10. I know people give a take plus minus, but it's pretty significant to have three guys combined -10. Also, there were no lineup changes after the kind of a no-show in game one. I know Merle's mentioned that, like, they really made no adjustments. They didn't do any lineup change. You would have thought maybe inject some sort of new blood, maybe even throw Joe Thornton out there. Maybe
for the power play specifically.
That too. And they just, again, like what I mentioned before, Tampa has a pretty distinct advantage coaching-wise, and that's not a diss toward Brunette. He's new to the game, and I think we're seeing this playing out in this series right now.
You know what? All right, you know what Coop said before the series? He says it's not about what's going on like on the ice and skill-wise out there. It's more about what's going on between the ears. And I don't know what type of mental torpedo he was throwing over to the Florida team when he said that, but it fucking landed. And it is the mind torpedo has exploded, and the other side is shook. And back to Vasilevsky, and you talked about the changes in game 3. They did end up having that Mammon, the kid from Moscow, Russia, who had a pretty decent regular season, big body. He had a breakaway at the start of that game, and Vasilevsky stopped him. And then I think it was either Reinhart or Bennett. I want to say Reinhart, right in front of the net, early on, wide open on a pizza in the middle of the ice, and he had a crack at it, and he stood tall in order to keep them in it early on to give that team the confidence. So one other thing that we missed on the Colorado St. Louis game was, did you think that play was offside, the first goal by O'Connor when he jumped in the air?
Yeah, I was very surprised that they challenged that. I
definitely did.
Didn't challenge it.
But what's weird is, like, so many people were saying, because I was on like kind of Twitter, and they're like, for them not to challenge it, it's almost like they knew, right? I feel
I'm just surprised we can't get a blue line angle there. Like, why can't we get the angle of the blue line? You see it in so many situations when there are offsides, but in this one, you couldn't get the proper angle, so you would never actually know whether the puck was still before the blue line, after that O'Connor had entered the zone. So I know I jumped around a little bit there, but anyway, just a chaotic start to this series for the Florida Panthers.
No doubt.
Speaking of chaotic, the Oilers just outshot the Flames 20-7 in the first period. The game's insane. McDavid's flying around. He could have 4 points. Markstrom's made some big saves. So, sorry.
We needed him to figure it out.
All right, before we get to the next series, the NHL playoffs are here, and on top of that, it's bachelor party season, so the drinks are flowing. So make sure you wake up feeling your best with No Days Wasted. They've got the ultimate vitamin for when you drink. It's called DHM Detox. Biz, hit it.
What do you mean, the vitamin for people that drink?
Oh, yeah, you know the drill.
The all-natural supplement that breaks down the toxins of the alcohol before they get to your liver. This thing, guys, I don't know if I've ever told you, but I passed it out at a wedding one time. And I got text the next day being like, what was that you gave me? And I said, the ecstasy. They're like, no, the other thing. And I said, oh, that's DHM detox. That's the all natural vitamin for people that drink that breaks down the toxins of the alcohol before they get to your liver. And that's why today you're not hungover and why you want to get back on the piss. It's very easy, guys. It comes in a pack that has 2 of them in it. And you take 1 pack for every 10 beverages. Usually after your first drink or 2, you drink it with a half a glass of water and you just let it go to work. That's it. It's that easy. You put it in your pocket, you go to the bar, you go to a house party, you go wherever you got to go with it, and you take it like that. And not just that, under the no days wasted umbrella, they have other things. They have the gummies that have vitamin D. They have the other gummies that I'm drawing a blank as to what those have in them. There's 2 of them. Grinelli, if you could maybe look it up and help me out. They also have the hydration replenisher that comes now in about 3 or 4 different flavors. I like the watermelon specifically. And I even take the hydration replenisher just on a day-to-day basis, just for like when I'm working out to replenish like the salts and all the other things that I need in my body in order to feel primed and ready to go and deliver the goods on the podcast. So shout out
You're
to
delivering the shit out of the goods tonight.
DHM Detox, no days wasted. And RA, why don't you give them the Biz20 promo code in the website where they can go purchase this? And I continually get DMs and texts about this stuff, not just after the wedding, but how amazing this supplement is. And thank you very much for listening to me.
And if you need DHM Detox delivered quick, No Days Wasted is now on GoPuff. So that means delivery to your house, a party, or the bar in 30 minutes or less. Just head over to GoPuff and search No Days Wasted. Also, head to nodayswasted.co and use the promo code BIZ20 for 20% off. Once again, that's nodayswasted.co for No Days Wasted after drinking with BIZ20. Not a big deal. All right, gang, moving right along here, going over to the Rangers, Carolina. Man, Carolina, talk about a different team on the road and at home. The Rangers got themselves right back into the series with a 3-1 win on Sunday at MSG. Igor Shesterkin stopped 43 of 44 shots to backbone the victory. Carolina, 6-0 at home, now 0-4 on the road. Anthony Ranto was great. He stopped 30 of 32 shots, but the Rangers needed this win. They got it done. Biz, let's go. I know your favorite fan base in the world. Let's go.
Well,
Can I say quickly one thing,
sure.
Biz?
Yep.
Just quickly, Biz.
Yep.
It's not 0-4 on the road, yes. They were horrific in all 3 games on the road against Boston. They played fucking great today.
They did.
They played. Shesterkin was an animal. I just wanted to say that. That was a game where I think Brindamore's in the locker room like, boys, we don't have issues on the road anymore. Yeah, we haven't won, but that was an effort.
Yeah. And I guess we've already talked about game 1 in which Capo Caco could have sealed but didn't because, you know, they're Fugazis. Not the original Fugazis now. They're the second-tier Fugazis. I guess when you talk about Carolina, you could talk about Antti Raanta and what he's done, able to bounce back from injury. I know I've been critical of the fact of he can't stay healthy, but he has, and that's huge. And he's been making some 10-bell saves, post to post, one of the best goalies in the league as far as his athleticism. But you also, with that, much like we did with Tampa, credit the overall defensive game. They allowed the fewest amount of goals all season long because of the way they play in their own end. They all play as a 5-man unit. There's no hesitation to their game. They know exactly what their duties are, and they close on you and they pin you and get the puck stopped and retrieve it and make a play to get out of their zone in no time. And they did that in both home games, and that's why they only allowed 1 goal. Shout out to Brendan Smith. And I know some of you Fugazi Ranger fans were like, you don't even know the whole story. No. You put Brendan Smith on waivers. And I get that he ended up spending the rest of his time in the organization and up with the team. But one man's trash is another man's treasure. And he fucking made you pay for the disrespect you showed him in game 2 by scoring on a shorthanded goal on your shitty Fugazi power play, which I told you. Remember, I told them, Whit? I complimented Kreider on his regular season and how many power play goals he scored. I said they had a wonderful power play in the regular season, but it would dry up like a nun's cunt. And it has. And they gave one up in game 2, and it ended up being the game winner, and I couldn't be happier about it. Why? Because they're Fugazis. And congratulations to them. They hung their goalie, Shesterkin, out to dry again, and he was able to collect it. And you know what? I want you to roll the clip of the what do you call the guy who or the translator? He can't speak fluent English, and I really want to commend Shesterkin on his post game comments about pumping up the fans' tires about the energy that they provided him.
I'd honestly like to thank the fans for the energy they provided. They supported me even though I kind of let them down in that one spot. But the energy at MSG is always great. They're always charged up, and I can't thank them more for that.
I mean,
Well
buddy,
said, Igor.
holy fuck. You know, it makes me not want to taunt him, but I still will. Igor. I'm going to be doing that every game from here on out at a chance that it gets in his head, but it probably won't because he's an elite goaltender. But as we know, that overall team and how much they like to give up those high danger scoring chance, they're going to hang him out to dry. It's just a matter of time. So the only other real thing I want to say about the entire series is that they need to figure out a way to win on the road. Pivotal game 4, get one there, and then close it out at home. And Jan said that they probably will never lose another home game for the remainder of this run. That's coming out of an NHLer who has played there and understands how hostile that environment is. So shout out to them. I don't know what happened at the end of the game with Max Domi. I didn't catch it. I was down grabbing a steamer.
I saw it. He gave Lindgren a really hard cross check as the buzzer went off. But for Gallant to be that upset after, like, Lindgren then ragdolled him. Like, it wasn't like he gave a shot that was, maybe a little unnecessary. He's pissed off they just lost. But after that, it just became like kind of a wrestling match. Lindgren slammed him down. And I guess it just really upset Gallant enough to bring it up and almost give the quiet threat of like, yo, we got number 75 in our locker room. They'll punch anyone's head in. So you want to fucking play that game, we'll play that game. But if you see the clip, it wasn't like, I think if you see Gallant's press conference, you'll think, and then you'll see the video, you'll be like, oh, that wasn't even that bad.
Well, let's roll the clip from the press conference.
Too happy at the end with D'Angelo.
No, I wasn't happy with the bull at the end of the game that they initiated. I mean, we didn't do that when the games were close. We put, they put their guys on. That's fine. If they want to play like that, we got the guys that can match up.
It's pretty standard in the playoffs, though. The message setting. Do you believe in that at all? Does that work?
I don't like it at the end of a game. The game's over. We still got 4 games to go with those guys. I mean, they're not sending any message. We got the guy that can handle all their guys if we want to, and we didn't do it like that. But Domi took a cheap shot of their defenseman, and you got a long memory in this. You think about things, and like I said, might be on the other foot someday.
So now, if you can, go watch the video. I mean, Domi gave a shot. I think it's the end of a playoff game. I think Gallant's main point was we didn't do any of that at the end of the games we lost. My question for Rangers fans and for everyone watching this series is Panarin's obviously injured, right? I mean, and Zibanejad and Kreider were catching a little heat this series. They both scored today. Kreider's was a snipe. Amazingly, Kreider missed a wide open net to seal the game. And there was still 2 minutes and 10 seconds of. I said, "Oh my god!"
I would have gave up my firstborn child if they would have lost that game.
Oh my god!
If he would have missed that and they would have came back and tied it, it would have been the Capo Caco special.
Yeah. So he snipes one bar down in the first period, and then he can't hit a wide open net. It was crazy, but they couldn't get the equalizer. But Panarin, wow. I mean, he's not making anything happen. He has to be injured. I mean, he's the way he's played in the regular season and what he's done in the playoffs, there's just no other answer for it. Would you agree?
Their kid line's been the best overall line this playoffs, I would say. And I know I was just chirping Capo Caco, but I think him, Hedl, and Lafreniere have been their overall their most consistent line. RA, anything that you got on this series?
Just Gallant and Tony D going at it at the end of the game. Go fuck yourself. They were having a big old fuck you match.
Oh, were they?
Back and forth. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were telling each other, go fuck yourselves, going back and forth. There was pretty animated discussion between the two of them. But,
well, I mean, the crowd was giving it the fuck you, Tony. Fuck you, Tony. And that's one of the storylines coming to this one. And I know I joked about this going to 5, or excuse me, this going to ending it in 4, and then him leaving a Cleveland steamer on the logo at center ice. Maybe at this point, it might actually be a reality, the amount that they hate each other between New York Rangers fans, maybe even the organization and Tony D'Angelo. So this is a great backup storyline to the overall series itself, RA.
Oh, absolutely. It's great drama. I mean, I'm obviously hoping, I'm not rooting for the Rangers, but you obviously want a 6 or 7 game series. I mean, I'd like to see it go as far as it can. What do you got for us, G?
I want the Rangers. I think the Rangers is good for us. I think it's good for the NHL. I think
it ain't good for biz.
Fuck
it ain't
the
good
Rangers.
for biz, but it's good for t-shirt sales too.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Oh, here we fucking go. There's always a fucking angle with DJs up there in the top left.
Hey, sold. I'm gonna buy them all. I'm gonna bring them to Times Square and I'm gonna fucking burn them. And then I'm gonna have Tony D'Angelo drop the Cleveland Steamer on him before he leaves town. Fucking Rangers fans, bunch of fugazis. Oh, and yeah, fake Gretzky. I'll wear your jersey at on the next broadcast. And speaking of Gretzky, though, he was actually at Game 3, so he probably
singing the Beatles with Janet.
Was he? Oh, the GOAT.
Yeah, one of the breaks there was, I think it was "I'm a Believer," like the song from Shrek. Is that a Beatles song, already?
I thought that was Smash Mouth.
I'm a Believer. That's the Monkeys, right?
It is.
Oh my God!
It's a Smash Mouth song. I just said. I actually think the Beatles are honestly like Smash Mouth, though. I can't stand the Beatles music. I don't like any of their. I like maybe one of their songs.
Wayno had the Canadian tuxedo on too. What a legend!
Dude, one time for Brian Yando's bachelor party, Fairway Falls. This was when we were young. Yando got married when he was 12. We went to Vegas. It was everyone's first trip to Vegas. And we were like talking about what we were going to do. And Foles like, guys, I got the first night planned. And he's 100% serious. He's like, Smash Mouth's playing at our hotel. It'll be unreal. We'll catch that concert and then go out. We were like, it was like when the car comes screeching to a halt in like a group chat.
Told me the world is
hey, now I'm an all-star. Get your game on. Go play.
Smash Mouth came to Plymouth State though, and after they played a concert, they came to my house and partied all night. They were
they're rinsed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they were also trying to get us to drive art across the country for them. They were super, super weird guys.
Damn.
All right, boys.
Could have never guessed that.
For everyone listening, if we're going to put this in, can we go watch the second and third?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to catch the end of this.
Oh, no. I almost forgot. Rangers fans were complaining because they limited tickets at PNC Arena for games 1 and 2 in Carolina. Okay.
For what? Out of town fans?
I guess people from New York State. So this obnoxious asshole lady with a cowbell shows up wearing an NYPD hat. The Rangers post this lady to their social media. She's all happy, having a gay old time. Sure as shit, life comes at you fast. You see a Carolina Hurricanes fan with a photo of a sign that says, "I'm with stupid." It's directed at her. Gennady, I pray you're posting this clip right now and people can see it. And she's standing up with her obnoxious self pointing at the lady with the sign. And then next thing you know, she's getting the nah, 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 nah.
Nah, 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 nah.
Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye.
Get out of our arena.
He gets pigeon tossed. By the way, you should go into solitary confinement if you bring a cowbell to a game, especially on the road. So she does the loser walk up the stairs, and on the concourse, she decides to throw the only body check that the team had done all night because they were hemmed in their own fucking defensive zone, try to chase the Carolina Hurricanes around because they're a fucking liability in their own end. And they throw the cuffs on her, and she's probably still in the clink. So that's why they don't want you down there. You guys are pathetic. Let's go Hurricanes. Let's go Kate. Let's go Kate. Canes at 5.
It's fucking hilarious, bitch. She's got an NYPD hat on, and then she fucking commits assault and battery on a police officer, like in the hallway.
Fugazi.
Like, fucking what a clown. But before we get to the Battle of Alberta, we have a message from our new friends at Skrill. Skrill is the best digital wallet for gamblers because it was built for gamblers. Sophisticated gamblers use it to manage their bankroll whether they are playing games like poker or betting on their favorite sports. They manage their bankroll using the wallet, which allows them to pay instantly and securely. It's payments without limits, basically. You can access your bankroll with instant deposits and withdrawals and also draw the cash using your prepaid card. This gives you access to your bankroll wherever you are in the world in any currency. Skrill thinks about your security relentlessly so you don't have to share your private financial details needlessly or repeatedly. So go to skrill.com/Barstool, sign up now. The first 100 customers to sign up this week get a $50 bonus in their Skrill account. Terms and conditions do apply. Once more, it's skrill.com/Barstool. And we're coming to you fresh off of Game 3, and it was the Evander Kane show in Edmonton as the midseason pickup had a natural hat trick in 6 minutes in the second period of a 4-1 Oilers win, and they now lead the series 2-1. Kane now has 10 playoff goals, leads the NHL. Of course, McDavid, 3 assists, unbelievable, 6 goals, 17 assists in 10 games. He has 23 points right now, Biz. It would have led the NHL in playoff scoring in 2011, 2012, 2015, and 2019. He's played 10 friggin' games. He's also the first player in NHL history with 9 multi-point games within the first 10 contests of a single postseason. This guy's rewriting the books. We're going to go to you in a second. I thought it was a horrible call on Milan Lucic. They called him charging. I don't know if Calgary was going to come back or not, but that cut them off at the knees. Any chance they had of coming back, bullshit call. I thought it kind of
weren't coming back.
Well, they definitely weren't after that, but let's go to you, Mr. Oiler. What do you got for us, buddy?
Wow. Wow is all I can say. Biz, let me tell everyone at home. Biz just said, hey, I think I'm going to let you take the Edmonton-Calgary series at the beginning. You think? You think, Biz? It's an absolute drumming the last 2 games. Biz just said, guys, hey, G, I saved my recording from the first half of the show. I'm a step ahead of the game. Biz, I already saved mine and sent it to him to fix the podcast and edit podcast. That's how ahead of Edmonton Calgary is, and me ahead of you right now. You got that shaved head in the middle of the shaved head on national TV, TNT. You're going to look like a fool. Connor McDavid right now. Biz, even you're over there just dreaming of having a player like that. I need to shave the top of my head. If only I had a Connor McDavid. Game 2 started off horrifically. Not as bad as game 1, but either way, bad start. 2-0. What does McDavid do? One hand behind the net, gives it out to Duncan Keith. We're back in the game. And Duncan Keith, at times during the year, did he struggle? Yeah. You know, he's getting older, not his best season. This is why you bring in Duncan Keith. Because you believe you can get into the playoffs and you have a guy with 3 Stanley Cups and gold medals up the cornhole. And that's why. And all of a sudden, this guy's playing unreal. McDavid starts that play. Then maybe the play of the playoffs. I'm an Oilers fan. McDavid making Zadorov look like Whitney circa, I don't know, 2010, 2014. Maybe 1993, even to 2000 when I retired. He made Zadorov look like a scrub and then gives it to Keith with just the sickest give and go you've ever seen. And boom, we're right back in the game. I don't know what you're going to do because this was the whole goal. The Oilers, right? It was a struggle. It was a question mark. Mike Smith, Biz, you actually always said you believed in him. He's now in a groove. And we were just like, just get us in, and we have McDavid. McDavid can just win the cup. Right now, you have no answers. Your team looks flat. Your team looks weak. Your team looks pathetic, really, in the last, game and a half, maybe 2. Yeah, not the whole game, 2. Last 5 periods, we own your ass. And I don't really know where you go from here because Markstrom's struggling. You're that's your man, right? But you're kind of panicked. Like, this is our Vezina style, type goalie. I don't know, Gaudreau and Kachuk and those guys. I don't know, buddy. I don't know. So I know one thing. You're nervous. And I tweeted, you're shaking in your boots, used boots from when you bought a piece of leather, old pleather boots from Carl from Calgary in the parking lot of the Stampede. You still wear these fucking things too. You're shaking in those boots. And I can just tell looking at you, you don't know what your team's going to do. Mind you, folks, Sunday, May 22nd, Paul Bissonnette, he wants the Rangers, lose. He wants the Panthers, lose. He really needs the Flames, loss. So talk to me about your Dave. Talk to me about where you're at.
I didn't want the Rangers, you fucking idiot. I wanted Carolina, so you misspoke, you dummy.
Damn it. I would have crushed the whole thing, Grinelli.
I don't know why the Calgary Flames decided that they wanted to play pond hockey with the Edmonton Oilers from the start of this series. I thought that game one was a shit show, and I thought they would have learned their lesson. Hey, listen, I've never been a head coach before. I would have been nervous as shit and probably pulled Markstrom at the end of the second period come game one. But hey, Sutter made the right call. He stuck with him. They tied up the game a minute into the third period, and then they come storming back and finally win that game. I'm like, oh, you laid a hot steaming pile of dog shit, and you got out alive. Then game two, boom, boom, 2-goal lead in the first period. They're fucking laughing. All of a sudden, Backlund, he gets a half breakaway and he overstick handle it and bobbles it. And I said, motherfucker. The minute that he overbobbled that, I said, oh no. I said, we're going to find ourselves in a game one type of situation. We're going to try to go back to playing Edmonton Oilers hockey, up and down the ice, high flying, turnover here, mismanaging the puck there. The lack of details to Calgary's game compared to the regular season, it is mind-numbing from a fan perspective. And when I say a fan perspective, I watched a ton of Leafs games and I watched a ton of Calgary games. I don't understand why they're trying to defend McDavid and Draisaitl the way they're doing it. They don't have many other guys on the deeper lines. I think that Edmonton has a vulnerable back end. I question Mike Smith, although he's playing like the Mike Smith that I saw when we made our run to the conference finals, where he's got all the confidence in the world. You could just tell by his fucking beady eyes and net through those cat eyes and his goalie mask. Then they get up 3-1 in game two, and then right back to McDavid. He ends up scoring that goal. Or sorry, Draisaitl scored the goal. And we got to get into this conversation. It was a bit of a shit show with all the disallowed goals. I thought that Edmonton got hosed
on the first one.
Edmonton got hosed because the puck wasn't froze between Markstrom having his paddle on it and Mike Stone. Is it Mike Stone?
I don't know.
In
Stone's
the crease.
brother.
And they pull it back, so it's still the 3-1 lead. And then McDavid gets the goal disallowed, in which Draisaitl ended up following up when McDavid did run into the goal in Markstrom. He did run into him, and it was the proper call.
Yeah,
but
once I saw the replay, I agreed.
But no less than a minute later, and this is the issue with the Calgary's back end right now, which I loved all season long. Big, strong, commanded the front of the net, didn't give up a ton of high-quality scoring chances. What the fuck is Zadorov thinking lunging at McDavid the way that he did? Just contain him. Put your stick out, keep a stick length, allow him to move that puck and then try to drive the net and then contain him there. He lunges at him, falls over with his big, dumb Whitney feet, and then McDavid beats him to the net and then has all the time in the world to fucking walk that in and just slide it around Markstrom. And then as Gobranson's trying to lunge in. From the minute that goal that was let in, I knew they were going to lose that fucking game. I think I even tweeted it out. And then to come out and have the performance that they did, not only after giving up that first goal in game three, the game and puck management by Coleman on that second goal as he crosses over the offensive blue line. Once again, it's right back to why the fuck are you trying to play pond hockey against the best pond hockey player team in the league? If you give McDavid and Draisaitl that type of time and space and you don't want to manage the puck appropriately, they're going to shove it right up your hoop as they did. And listen, all the credit to Evander Kane for having the playoffs that he's has had, 2 hat tricks now. But, buddy, I could have scored those fucking goals playing with the dishes that McDavid was feeding him over. Forehand, backhand, right in the back of the net. And given with what Markstrom did all season long, and the fact that Sutter is as stubborn as he is, I assume that he's going back to Markstrom in game 4. But if we see the same type of performance, and listen, he had a great first period, but as far as positioning wise, maybe a little bit fish out of water and really not the Markstrom we saw all season long. Can we agree on that? Despite how many shots were on net and maybe how much he was hung out to dry based on shots, not the Markstrom we've seen all season long. So give him the net in game 4, but if they manage the puck and they play the way they have so far in this series, regardless if they won game 1 or not, they're going to lose in 5 games to the Edmonton Oilers and McJesus and crew. And
okay, Biz, can I ask you one question? As
sure. This is not the Calgary we saw in the regular season.
Okay, they are
playing down to Edmonton standards.
Florida North.
They are a shell of what they were in the regular season. They were, I believe, first in the league at how many shots they allowed per game. 23.9 shots per game they allowed. I will agree that Carolina had the better overall team defense and allowed the least amount of goals. But as far as shots allowed and quality scoring chances allowed, Calgary was easily in the top 3 overall in all defensive numbers. What we're seeing now is a team that has completely lost their mind. I love Tkachuk. He needs to fuck off with the Evander Kane chirping shit. Fuck off.
Well, what's he gonna say now? Because Kane just lit him up for a natural.
We got Calgary Flames fans dumping money over the glass, trying to taunt Kane too. Leave him alone. Let him sleep. It ain't working. He's dummying you. So
okay, Biz,
I'm disgusted.
Let me ask
sure.
you this.
Ask me a question.
Panthers,
I'm having a meltdown.
Yeah,
here.
Panthers Fugazis a little bit. And I don't know, though, if it's more, do we give credit to Tampa the same way? I'm going to say Calgary may want to play their style hockey, defensive hockey, limit the chances, take advantage of turnovers, basically how they work over Edmonton every time they play them in the regular season. It felt like past few years. I think with McDavid at this level, he's breaking down their entire team because the line that's out. But listen, the line that's on the ice is getting outchanced. It doesn't matter right now. Like, this is what this guy is. You know, you got NHL players texting each other, talking like, what the fuck are we watching out here? Right? We've seen some legendary runs in the playoffs, and it's only
how many times tonight of all those?
Hold on. It's only 3 games in the second round. But what he's doing is so outer worldly. It's so impressive that he's crushing the 5 guys on the ice for Calgary, right? And all of a sudden, dude, that game's just flowing, right? So the next line that comes out, you're exchanging chances. They're getting power plays. All of a sudden, they're getting more momentum. So the way McDavid's playing, he's literally fucking the entire Flames game plan up on his own.
Okay, I'll say one thing. All praise to McJesus. Out of the way. 3 things on the Calgary side. Discipline. Absolute dog shit discipline. They're getting in a pissing contest. They're even when they have these leads, they're just playing like fucking buffoons. Okay. When you have McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice, your game plan, regardless of who on the ice, should be you want to play in the offensive zone below the goal line and not feed into their transition. Enough with the high risk type of passes and turning it over. And then all of a sudden you have this massive amount of gap in space so he can wind it up. And listen, Calgary, other than Shillington, does not have a mobile back end. What makes Calgary good defensively is playing as a 5-man unit. And they ain't fucking doing that right now. And on top of that, when you are defending McDavid and Draisaitl, and even though Draisaitl, like we talked about his straight down the ice speed, it's pretty good given the fact that he's got an ankle injury.
He's actually looking better and better.
He's looking better and better, like it wasn't that serious, which is scaring me even more. You need to defend him skating forward. You can't just fucking back up. I talked to Rick talking about it, and he said, like, he's like, yo, listen, like, I understand that, like, we didn't have a fucking juggernaut. The one year they ended up going to the bubble and beating Nashville, and then I think they lost in 5 games to Colorado. They ended up sneaking out 1 win because Darcy Kemper fucking played out of his mind. But he said, Biz, I had a winning record against Edmonton because I understood how you had to defend McDavid, and they did it last year with Winnipeg. Yep. They did it too. And I'm not saying he's playing to the same standards last year. I'm not saying it's the same team either. What I'm saying is they're playing him like a fucking buffoon. So they're making it far easier for McJesus in order to do what he can do on another scale. They're feeding into that. So I'm going to calm it down here. We should probably throw it over to RA, but the way that they're playing their game compared to the regular season, they're playing like morons. And I'll tell you what, if Sutter doesn't have any, if Sutter doesn't have any adjustments, they're fucked. They're going to lose this series in 5 games if they play exactly the way they've been playing. They are playing like bozos.
Okay. I hear that anger. All right, my question for you. Oh, quick shout out, Zach Hyman. Whoa. Talk about
serious kid.
Like what you're thinking when you signed the guy. He is that goal in game 2, the breakaway to break.
A breakaway.
3-3
gets a fucking breakaway.
Short-handed game winner.
And
two short-handed game
bar
winners.
down. He looks great. My question for you, RA.
Yeah.
Give me recent or in your lifetime playoff performances like this from that you can relate to what McDavid's doing.
Lemieux and Gretzky.
I mean, yeah, literally,
How crazy is that to say?
Those are the only 2 that come to mind. I mean, it's obscene. I mean, Biz, we were kind of on the same wavelength the other night. You were on TNT, and you're saying, you said we're seeing another Wayne Gretzky. You gave some great words for him, and I tweeted out. It might have been the same night. I said, what a goddamn game. I says, enjoy this now, folks. I'm like, we're watching the best on the planet build his legacy in real time. And it's a privilege. It's like when I was younger, man, and Larry Bird played with, like, I was a dumb teenager. I didn't appreciate it as it was happening.
You know something's different.
Like you just know, like, this is greatness as in real time. Like, this kid there's no one like him since fucking 99 and 66 were playing, and we're getting to see it. And like, that's why I want him to win. I mean, it's not about being an Oilers fan. It's about being a McDavid fan. It's about wanting to see the best on the planet at the highest level, trying to win the title, man. Like, if you're watching hockey, how do you not root for this kid to get to the fucking finals, man?
And I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps today thinking of like the NHL and having McKinnon and McDavid facing off to go to the Cup.
I think it's going to happen.
Oh.
I'm not confident at all. I think Edmonton's going to win this series.
But I was so not confident after game 1, and that's why, as cocky as I'm being right now, it's still like it's the swings, as a fan in the playoff. Like, I've played. I never would say since I played in the NHL, I've been really a fan of any particular team. I root for my friends, but I like when the Bruins are doing good. Living in Boston, you're going to games. It's exciting in the city. But this is my year as a fan of the Oilers. RA, it's like after every game, this highest of highs, and then you lose the next one. It's the lowest of lows. It's just, now, granted, I have my ear and a disgusting earring. By the way, my mom said to me that she's over. She's like, you can just get the fake earring. I'm like, do you know what would happen to me if they found out that it wasn't even a legit earring?
Clip on.
I'd be booted off the internet forever. Hey. So it's exciting. It's crazy. The plays tonight, I mean, the other thing about McDavid, like tonight was the same instance in the first period. He could have like six more points all these games. There's actually like grade A chances that, I mean, Marshall's making saves or guys are blocking shots. It's like he has the puck. He's cutting back and forth through everyone, stopping, going, turning on a dime. There's actually nothing. It doesn't matter what anyone does. They can't stop him. And even when you seem to angle him off the boards, he's chucking like a backhander through a defender's legs all of a sudden to create a 2-on-1 somewhere else. It's out of this world. It's very, very enjoyable to watch right now.
I'll summarize again. You can't play track meet hockey against that team. If you want to do it, just do it when McDavid and Draisaitl aren't on the ice. You have to be way more disciplined. The amount of just bonehead stupid mistakes has to be limited to cut it in a third. Going back to the like from a fan perspective, the game 2, everybody from a Calgary standpoint is complaining about that non-goal. Fuck off with all this shit. It's a wash.
Everybody gets fucked in the playoffs.
Both of them got hosed. And from a non-biased perspective, going back to the Lucic play, it should have been a 2. I understand why it was 5. It was a 5 because the referee is trying to manage the game, and he's saying, if I keep this guy in the game, things could get ugly. I don't think you could clearly see that Luch got to a point where he put his hand there and was trying to stop himself. Smitty got pushed off balance. If you're a Calgary fan, you're saying, oh, the embellishment, and we've seen it before from Smith. No, I ain't even going to go there either. It was just a mistake. It was an ugly collision. He goes to concussion protocol. He shouldn't be suspended. Give him the 5. The game was out of reach anyway. So it's all a wash. Enough with fucking complaining about the calls. Edmonton's up 2-1 fair and square. Calgary needs to bring their A game on the road. And shout out to Ben. Ben's been their good luck charm all season long. Play La Bamba. I'm happy for that kid. And he's obviously given them that extra little mojo that they deserve right now. And all the credit to Edmonton and what they're doing to my Calgary Flames.
Hey, did you see that? Layla from St. Louis, Layla Anderson reached out to Ben, wrote him a nice letter. Because she went through a similar experience. And they posted online. Just a really nice, just a young kid to have the wherewithal and maturity to send a letter like that to the little guy. It was such a nice thing she did. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. And Biz, to go back to Markstrom, this stat was actually going into tonight's game. The Oilers have scored 5 or more in 5 of 6 games against Markstrom this season. Obviously, regular season and playoffs. That didn't even include tonight, where they got 4 off him tonight before he got yanked.
All right, it's a great stat because I know in recent memory, at least a couple of the later games in the year that got out of hand. I know that Flames put up a 9-piece on them, not long before playoffs, but also in return they gave up a bunch as well. So this is not out of character for these Battle of Alberta games. But I will say, from a fan perspective, that game 1, I know there was a lot of goals. That was brutal hockey. I don't even enjoy watching that. It's awful.
I had fun watching.
I don't. I'd rather watch like a 3-2 Blues over the Avs in like good penalty kills, like physical, up and down the ice, close game. Buddy, this looks like pond hockey. It's awful.
Okay, Boomer.
No, I ain't even fucking. I like a little bit of everything. That's why I fucking tweeted the praise I had out for the St. Louis and Avs series, and I obviously am poopy pants because my Flames are losing too. But golly,
you just want to see the hockey that the Flames will win if they play.
Yeah.
The Lucic hit. Yeah, I said like Ryan Miller's having flashbacks. I was completely kidding in the fact that was nothing remotely close to when he ran over Ryan Miller. This one, I admit it was. It shouldn't have been a 5-minute major. So many people were like, "That's crazy. He's got a prior whatever issue with that." He meant to hurt him. It's like, I don't know what you're.
It's the same brain dead fans. It's the same brain dead fans that are tagging me in when McKinnon got his helmet knocked off and then he put it back on and they're like, "Oh, see, was it that hard, Biz?" Buddy, he fumble fucked it away from the play and he put it back on and you could see the ear flap was on the inside and it was distracting him. And as he skated off the ice, he chucked his bucket. And then you cut the clip short like a fucking bozo and then you tag me in it. Avery.
Oh my God. Avery did that?
Avery. And I said,
what a little bitch,
fraud.
Avery.
How do you say his last name again? Zaretsky?
Yeah.
You're a fucking fraud. And I got your jersey and I texted our producer and it'll be on the broadcast on Monday.
Get your phone out, Avery.
Wow,
texting me every hour on the hour since it arrived 3 days ago. I
love how he said we would have thrown him in the Hudson River in like the next day. It's like, no, we wouldn't have.
I'm upset about I don't think this Battle of Alberta has lived up to the expectations that I expected coming in. I'm disgusted. I know I've been very negative about it. I'm sure you Oilers fans are loving life. And I told you guys, I'm a little upset that ESPN's cock blocking us on knowing where we're going to end up going for the live feed for the conference finals to the point where it may not happen anymore. But if Edmonton does win and Colorado advances, I hope that I have to go to Edmonton and shave my head. And I hope that all you Oilers fans get to laugh at me in person. And it would be sweet justice for me doubting you and for pushing all my chips in the middle at a point in the season where Calgary was buzzing and the Oilers were very vulnerable.
I'm curious, G, was it not like a week into the season? Am I totally off on that?
It was a little later than that, I believe.
Find out when the bet was made, G.
I listen, we got a little bit more hockey to talk about. We can wrap up this Battle of Alberta bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, if Calgary comes back, then we'll have Passion of the Christ. When Dan Vladar come in for Calgary, that's now 13 of 16 playoff teams that have used 2 goalies in the playoffs thus far. Dallas, Florida, and Tampa, the only teams that have only used 1 goalie. What do you got, G?
The bet was made on November 2nd. 2021.
Okay, 3 weeks into the season, maybe.
All right.
Okay, yeah, maybe it was a little earlier than I thought, I guess.
Big signing to announce. Congratulations, Brady Tkachuk. He was signed by Budweiser Canada as they released on Instagram. So
that's the curse. Stop looking at me. We were rolling.
Yeah, a different team without Brady and fucking Walt mucking up in the fucking stands.
I feel like you're like panicking way too early here. It's 2-1. There's a lot of hockey left in this series here.
The hockey that I've watched over the last 3 games is a major level for concern, and I think that Calgary looks shook right now, and they have a goaltending issue all of a sudden. So sometimes these things can't get fixed very quickly, and next thing you know, at the drop of a hat in playoff time, you're all of a sudden booking your all-inclusives and your tea times. So yeah, I am panicking, but I think that I have every right to, and I think that probably at least 50% of the Calgary fan base would agree with me based on what they've witnessed over the first 3 games. I wasn't happy with that Game 1 win. That scared the shit out of me. I'm like, what is this? I don't want to see any more of that. Lock it up. I tweeted, lock it up.
They're not
figure it out.
But you mentioned tea times. And if you're going to make a tea time, folks, you want to be wearing G4 when you're out there on the course, because this company, they're making the best, most comfortable shoes in the business. G4, you see people wearing them more often and more often. They look cool. They feel good on your feet. Also, with Father's Day coming up, if your dad's golf obsessed, everyone knows the dads who get the worst Father's Day gifts. You know, like every golfer gets gifts from people who don't know golf. They get you like the worst thing you'd never use in your life. Not G4 though. You got to hook your dad up or your mom with some sick golf shoes. This year, our friends at G4 are offering a limited edition Father's Day collection for the entire occasion. The capsule includes G4 shoes, including the best-selling Gallivanter 3 different hats, and more. If you really want to win your dad over this Father's Day, please go right now and order it at g4.com/chiclets and shop the capsule and get 10% off your first order.
You know what actually gave me confidence? How pathetic you came in swinging at me about this series. About my leather boots, like fucking.
Yeah. You sold used clothes out of your trunk in the minors, and then you bought used clothes at the Stampede. Don't be upset with me, Biz. You're doing too well this episode to get upset with me because my team looks good.
Let's go. Let's have some fun. All right, that's it for all the series. We got some other hockey news and notes to get to. Our buddy Rick Bowness, he resigned as head coach of the Dallas Stars. He said, after careful consideration with my wife, Judy, we feel it's best to step away and allow the organization the opportunity to pursue a different direction at the head coaching position. I'd like to thank all the passionate fans and the dedicated staff for their support and hard work in my time here. It's been an honor for me and my family to represent the Stars in the city of Dallas. General Manager Jim Nill said the search for a new coach would begin immediately, and that assistants Todd Nelson, Derek Laxdal, and John Stevens had been fired. Dallas joins Vegas, Philly, Detroit, Winnipeg, Chicago, and the Islanders as teams looking for a new bench boss. Speaking of, the Jack Adams finalists were also announced. Florida's Andrew Brunette, no surprise there. Calgary's Darryl Sutter, and New York Rangers coach Gerard Gallant. I was surprised, no Todd McClellan. The award goes to the, quote, coach adjudged to have contributed the most to his team's success. And when you consider all the injuries the Kings had, no Doughty for most of the year. I don't know, man. I don't know how McClellan doesn't end up top 3. Biz, were you shocked by that list?
I feel like every year there's a couple coaches that get hosed because there's so many that do such a great job. I completely agree. Like, I think that, like, with what expectations might have been coming into the season and then dealing with the injuries and the adversity you just talked about. Yeah. And, you know, they like, Quick had obviously been dealing with injuries in prior seasons with dealing with the hip surgeries, and they had Cal Peterson coming up, and they didn't really have a starting goalie, like in a sense of like who was going to get the net. So it was shared duty. So just based on the collective effort and what he was able to extract from that group, yes, I'm very shocked. I actually, in fact, had him as the winner of the Jack Adams.
I thought Darryl Sutter had some interesting comments about Gerard Gallant, basically being like, for a guy that's just been dealt a bad hand when he was in Florida, dealt a bad hand when he's in Vegas, he's like, I know where my vote would go, aiming at Gerard Gallant.
Yeah, but I also I think he's done a terrific job with the Rangers. I think that goaltending sometimes does put a Band-Aid on maybe some flaws. And as you saw, he had a Vezina caliber goalie. But based on personnel and the players that they have in New York compared to what they have in LA, I think that, but nonetheless, yes, there were some very, very nice comments by Sutter to pump his buddy's tires.
All right, you also should include. I think you had like a 200-1 on him winning the award, correct?
I had 80-1 on McClellan to win the Jack Adams.
Buddy,
so
I mean
that's hence my vested interest.
Yeah,
but I mean,
don't let this guy fool you.
And like going to bonus, just like Todd McClellan, like based on what they had as far as a group's concerned, they both brought their teams to 7 games, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. It's sometimes the first round's the toughest round, so. Let's see. The King Clancy Memorial Trophy Award is given to the player who best exemplifies leadership qualities on and off the ice and has made a noteworthy humanitarian contribution in his community. The finalists were Ryan Getzlaff, Donnell Nurse, and PK Subban. Also, the league announced that it will announce some award winners from June 1st through June 7th. The Messier, Jack Adams, Masterton, Willie O'Ree, Selke, Lady Bing, and King Clancy winners will be revealed during the conference final, during pregame shows. And then the Calder, Hart, Vezina, Norris, and Lindsay winners will be announced on a 1-hour live show held during the Stanley Cup final, June 21st at 7 p.m. on ESPN. A couple signings here. The Penguins extended Brian Rust with a 6-year, $30.75 million deal. Comes out to $5.125 million a year. He just finished a 4-year, $14 million deal. He could have gone unrestricted, but stayed with the team he's been with his entire 8-year career. 270 points in 424 games played. Let's see. In Toronto, signed Mark Giordano, defensive Mark Giordano, 2-year, $1.6 million extension, $800,000 per year. The 38-year-old vet also could have went unrestricted, but he opts to stay with the Leafs.
That's a great deal for the Leafs. He's still got some game left in him. Like, even if he ends up being like a 5th by the end of it, like
a Chara type.
I think he's he'd have to go another 8 years to be a Chara type and be that slow and just like hanging on by a thread. No offense to Chara, but I think maybe he should have hung him up a couple years ago.
Now he's never coming on.
Yeah. So no, I mean, can we be just honest about you guys? Is he done? Did he announce his retirement?
He hasn't officially said anything yet, but I think he's done.
Come on here. Like, just let the kids play. But as far as Giordano, I mean, this guy's 3 or 4 years removed from winning the Norris. Just a very solid back end. And that's a great, they need bargain moves, Toronto. And according to Witt, a lot more money to save up in order to have for Austin Matthews.
Oh, apparently. I loved how rattled the people got.
Because you're bonehead take. But anyway, good signing.
Yeah. One last signing too. Columbus extended goalie Jonas Korpisalo, 1-year deal worth $1.3 million. Oddly, he just finished a 2-year deal worth $5.6 million, so he's taking a bit of a pay cut.
His numbers got
I know he had a rough one, but he could have went unrestricted as well, but he stayed with the only team he's been with for his 7 NHL season. So that's it for
That's
NHL
cool, though.
news.
He gets to go. He's probably like, hey, I'll stay where I'm at. You guys have been loyal to me. I'm going to prove myself, and then I'm going to get my payday. I fucking love that shit.
And I think him and Elvis got a pretty good relationship, too. Like, a good tandem they got there. You guys checking out the Rough and Rowdy this weekend? What a fucking coward that, what's his name? Big Dick Booty Daddy, man. He talks all that shit about
what happened?
Wife. He fucking pulled up lame. He quit in the first round. Like he fucking
okay. So he pulled the Jose Canseco.
I know. I thought they wanted to make sure that would never happen again.
Well, he probably didn't make close to the amount of money that Jose did.
Yeah, they probably insured against that. It was so embarrassing because he talked one thing talking shit, but he was being so over the line,
Yeah, he was doing so personal with the guy's wife and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, so you do that, man. You look like such a fucking chump when you talk all that.
Was he getting beat?
Can we actually play the clip from Rough and Rowdy of what Big Cat described of what he said to his opponent about him and his wife?
Suck my fucking dick! And Bobby Lang, you small spineless fuck! You're afraid of Shaw! I told you to f your wife! I was gonna eat her fucking pussy like a hungry hippo! Where the f are you, Bobby? You're nowhere to be found, you cowardly fuck!
Like, that is just...
I mean, they call it Rough and Rowdy for a fucking reason, man.
Oh, my God.
Shut up.
All right, was he getting beat up when he quit?
No, I mean, it was... nothing not too exciting, but I don't know if he claimed to pull a muscle. It was just so lame. It was like, dude, he just stopped fighting. Like, he just turned his back and was leaned over his arm. It was like,
where's he from?
I don't even know where that clown's from, but he was fighting the kid from Braintree, Bobby Lang, the kid who's done like 9 rounds.
Bobby Lang is the king. He's the king.
Yeah, he's
who was
pretty good.
Shizat the Rizat, and he got arrested. What happened?
Yeah,
with that?
and then the fucking big booty dickhead there, Shizat the Rizat said something to him. They started fucking squaring off. It was like wrestling, only it was fucking real. The cops grabbed Shizat.
Only it was West Virginia.
They cuffed and stuffed him. I don't know if they ended up
It was in Wheeling,
him or what.
where I played.
That was in Wheeling?
That was in Wheeling.
Oh, yeah.
I was at West Banco Arena, man.
Oh my God.
So,
Shit,
folks, I
that's
don't know how
original.
many. I'm sure like some of you who follow Barstool as well. So they got involved in this whole boxing world. And why not? People are getting massive paydays out of it, and like you sell the pay-per-views. But the good thing about the Barstool one, I think it's like $20.
Yeah, it's
and they do three rounds. And
three
it's
rounds, like it's just like an
minute rounds,
assembly
right?
line. Like as soon as one fight's over, there's 2 more people in
It's
the
a
ring. And
circus act.
It is.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
You
let's go to one.
I would fight in one of them, but they'd have to give me the bag. If they
Yeah,
gave,
I think we've
well,
talked about this
yeah.
prior.
oh,
You
have
said
we?
$1 million?
$1 million, I'll fight in a rough.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
why
it's-
they wouldn't. I mean, I feel like that would get that many buys.
I would love to
If you were
fight that
tilting
Jake
someone.
Paul clown. I
Like
would
if you're
love to.
sitting around like 4 or 5 of your buddies, you throw in for like $5 each or something. It's like guaranteed entertainment. It's unlike anything out there, you know, especially with fucking Dave and Big.
How
Cat
long
Bob.
does it go? 2 hours?
Couple hours, yeah. I mean, you get your money's worth, no doubt.
You know what
about
it is? It's
I
a
mean,
great pre-drink before you go to the bar.
I mean,
Grab
you know,
a 6-pack,
Yeah,
go hang
and
out with
just
your
watch
buddies,
these
and just
little
watch
people
these-
fighting, girls fighting, big girls fighting, big girls. It's
Little
Dude,
people fighting.
yeah. It's got a little something for everybody. What PGA Championship? Wow, pretty wild
Oh.
ending, man.
Oh my
Hear
goodness!
it.
Yeah, pretty uneventful. I mean, tournament, I guess for the most part. There was different waves that got hosed. So it's like a lot of times it happens more so in Europe, like the Open Championship and when European Tour events are being played or whatever that tour is called now. And a lot of times, right, if you always play morning, afternoon, or afternoon, morning. And if you end up catching the wave that the weather sucks, it's kind of an unfair tournament in a sense where the weather decides a lot. And so the guys who played in the morning on Thursday and then the afternoon on Friday, they had great weather or much, much easier than what the other wave dealt with. So Justin Thomas was in that tough wave, and he was like the only guy to get out of that wave and be near the top of the leaderboard. Everyone else, including this Mito Pereira, who's from Chile, everyone else, all those guys were in the good wave, so they got lucky. And this guy was lighting it up, and as was Zalatoris, he was just ripping this course apart. That Zalatoris is like he's the guy who everyone says looks like Happy's caddy from Happy Gilmore, but a young stud. I think he now has 6 top 10s in 8 career majors, or 5 of 8. It's pretty wild, and he's never won on tour. So neither is this Pereira. So then Pereira has another great third round, and this kind of no-name guy. Now, being no-name, I would say that the average golf fan or the guy who watches the majors would have no idea who he is. He's from Chile. He went to Texas Tech. I was reading about him. So he then had a really good third round, and he shot 1 under after making bogeys. He just like kind of steered the ship, and everyone was like, at least the golf world was saying, is this guy gonna get his first major? He's got a pretty decent sized lead, and it's just a tough day, but still coming down the wire after playing as poorly as he had. He gets to 18 with a 1-shot lead. I'm sure you were watching, RA. And he hits driver. Oh, it's like the weirdest fall through. He said right away it was a bad swing. The guy gave interviews after. It was a class in kind of dealing with defeat in the correct way. Just an absolute master at kind of just talking about what happened. I'm kind of giving it away if nobody saw the PGA, which I'm sure everyone listening did. But he hits this drive right. Now he's hitting his third shot from about, 190 yards. He's got to cut it around these trees, misses the green. He's now hitting his fourth. He's got to get up and down just to make bogey and get into a playoff. There's 2 guys at 5 under, and he misses the putt. And I like seeing guys go out and win it. Justin Thomas got into the playoff with Zalatoris. He went out and won it. I don't like seeing guys lose it, That sucks. And that's why golf and I guess tennis is an individual sport. But you don't see meltdowns like anything other than golf. Like tennis, you could have a big lead in the 5th set as a men's major, and it could be a collapse. but it's such quick moving pace of play things. Whereas golf, it's all the time between the shots and the walking. So he hit it in the water, and now, forget the viewers at home. Like, having played a little competitive golf, not even remotely close to anything these guys do, but tournament golf, if you've played it, you hit a bad shot or you need to make a par, and all of a sudden you're in trouble. Things start moving fast, dude. Your brain's moving way faster than it has the rest of the tournament, and like a little bit of like panic can set in. And I just felt bad for the poor guy.
So I ended up watching it, right? So on the 17th, he left the putt like, half an inch
one
short.
rotation, it looked like.
One rotation. I could tell. It seems like I don't know if it was because earlier in the round, I feel like he got called out for slow pace of play, correct?
Yeah, so they went up to his group. It was Matt Fitzpatrick, who wasn't having a great day, and Pereira, and they're like, you guys got to speed it up, which is kind of funny. I mean, they're the last group, but I do understand. They want to keep pace of play. And Fitzpatrick immediately goes, don't look at me, pointing over to Pereira.
Right, yeah. So it's like, but I did notice from that putt, going up to the next tee, it seems like he was kind of like, I don't want to overthink it. I just want to.
Dude, he was rushing it so
he
quick.
You could tell he was rushing it, and I think it's Faldo. Like I don't know how you feel about Nick Faldo on the commentary, but he's like, fuck, dude. He's like, just take out a 3-wood or take out something, and like, even if you get a bogey, you're going to a playoff. Like then once you're in the playoff, I feel like you get the reset, right? Okay, I'm in the it's the next 3 holes and that's it. But you could just tell once he rushed it and then put it in the water, I was like, oh no. And it resembled that one, the one at St. Andrews the one year.
Oh, was that Carnoustie? It was what was that? He was a Frenchman's name.
Oh my God, he can play. And then they ended up having the video after where it was called like, I played that hole like a complete moron, and he actually beat his score by playing with just a putter on the hole. So he was kind of at least
John Vandeveld.
He was a little self-deprecating, but he beat his score when he got at the last hole of that Open with a putter when he went back. So
but pressure does the craziest things.
That's the thing, God. Right? And listen, from a non-golfer, I was watching, I'm like, yeah, he seems like he's just getting this over with, where he's like, it's almost like he's fast forwarding so to pretend he's not overthinking it, but in reality you could tell his wheels are spinning 1,000,000 miles an hour. And as you said, to see that, I was texting you, I'm like, this is so hard to watch.
I know.
Like, if that happened to me in a sandbagger, I would be devastated, let alone to get your and this guy was also playing on the Corn Ferry Tour last year.
Yeah, so he got his card because when you're on the Corn Ferry Tour, they have a special rule. If you win 3 times in a year, boom, automatically you go to the PGA Tour. And he did that. So he's a stud. Like, he's a ball striker, and it's crazy. The game now is just like ball strikers. Like, people say like you got to be the best putter. It's not even true. These guys, they just hit every fairway, every green. They never miss the center of the club face. And that was this Pereira. And you're right. I think maybe I actually definitely agree with you. He's probably like, let me just go hit this drive. Jim Nantz was still talking, and all of a sudden the camera goes to him. And I think Nantz was like, oh, this guy's going to get ready and set, take his time. And boom, he's teeing it up, just blocking one right with a crazy follow through. And yeah, Faldo was saying when Zalatoris ripped 3-wood in the playoff, he's like, that's what all Pereira needed to do.
There you go.
Rip 3-wood. You got $165, 70 in. Justin Thomas, though, what a clinic to go through what he went through the first 2 rounds where you're just exhausted. Like, the grind, these guys are on the grind. People who don't play golf, they're laughing like fucking golf. Dude, to get the ball in the hole in tough conditions, that is a grind for 36 holes, probably 5-hour rounds. Thomas just grinded. He gets to Saturday and he kind of had a bad day. He's probably just like, I don't know. That was also tough weather. And then he comes back from 7 shots down and he ends up getting into the playoff. He could have won the thing. He stuffed one on 18 and missed the putt to get to 6 under, but just an amazing effort. And that's the Zalatoris. He's going to win someday. He's got biz. Coming from a guy who hasn't putted well on camera, if you guys ever watch a sandbagger, he's got a funky ass YIP stroke where it's like the short putt.
I buddy, they zoomed in on his putter head.
See that?
When he had a short one, and I was like, Whoa, what the hell was that?
I know. But from 15 feet, he pours them in. But this week, he was nails on a lot of the short putts. He was actually going back, and it would kind of yip. I hate saying that as a golfer. And he would just like stop, then finish the backswing and hit it. He was like almost battling through it. But when you hit it like that, it doesn't really matter. I think he will get a win. But it was an exciting. It turned from kind of boring. I was like, this is, I don't know. It hasn't done much, into like two young guns, and one of them gets his second major. So it ended up being a great Sunday watch at the end.
Did you have any futures on it, RA?
He had
Actually,
43 golfers to win.
No, I tailed my buddy again, who seems to pull these guys out of his ass. Cameron Young, I had him. He ended up fucking.
He had a chance.
He ended up 2 behind. Yeah, he was right there at the end.
He made a double, like 15 or 16.
I think I had him at like 61. Basically, if he come in, I would have made probably about 10 large if he come in. But for a small investment too. But say la vie, I popped out, dude. Well, what were you just talking about? Like the pressure, like that made last week KH lead the Byron Nelson. That made him more impressive because he had that 1-stroke lead for like I think the last 6 holes. He had to hang on to it. He ganks one shot, he fucking loses, and he talk about fucking coming through in the clutch too, man.
There's just so much time to think in golf. It's crazy, and you have to be mentally strong. You have to be telling yourself positive affirmations. It's not. It's like fake it till you make it, but I can't imagine for a guy who's never won on tour to have 1-shot lead on the 18th hole of a major. He probably hit the panic button a little, but like I said, in terms of his post-round media quotes and questions he answered, I think you're gonna see this guy around again. He just,
dude, I would have thought he just lost the chip and putt event.
Yeah, like how else would you want to respond, right? What are you gonna do? Fucking sulk? It's like, dude, tomorrow go hit balls, win the next tournament. It's one of those
put
crazy
the interviewer in a headlock.
Fucking dumb.
Or at least go get shit faced tonight.
Oh yeah, hooker.
I'm not sure if we said it yet, Biz, but in case we didn't, Battle of Alberta Tuesday night. We'll be live streaming on our Chiclets YouTube channel. We'll be tweeting the hell out of it and putting on our social media and all that shit. So we'll be doing a little Beavis and Butthead style with the Battle of Alberta.
Yeah. So how is that going to work, G? How will we be doing that?
The fans are going to watch me put one in my belly button in my bed here at the Four Seasons in Atlanta while we're streaming the Battle of Alberta.
He's the guy from CNN, RA.
It's basically going to be like a live podcast. We're going to be just like this in a Zoom format where people can see us, see your live reactions. Will be on the YouTube
I'm actually excited for it because I think it's actually going to give the Calgary Flames a little bit of mojo, and it's different. So I'm a little bit superstitious when watching the game. So we need to change something. So let's go Flames. I'll put in a big effort and excited to see everybody. And make sure you bring your pink Whitney. We'll be chugging that.
I was just going to say Labatt Blue as well. You got to be putting back those fresh Canadian Pilsners.
Send some my way. I love it.
I got to quick grind your gears. Like this is something used to really grind my gears, but I don't take Uber or Lyft as much. But when they take the fucking worst route ever, especially in Boston, people at Boston, they know the best route with the quickest way to go. And you got these drivers from out of state. They don't know.
I tell them where to go. All right.
Dude, sometimes I try, but sometimes they don't. They only fucking obey the GPS. So this one was so bad the other night when it's comical. I couldn't even get mad. I had a family dinner. It was me and my cousin. We met up with Shane Corson in the North End, had a couple beers with him. So we were at the Corner Cafe on Prince Street, right? Near Bova's Bakery. We're going back to Charlestown at the fucking Knights. We get an Uber. We end up on 93 fucking north, going from the North End to fucking the Knights in Charlestown. The guy
did he just go past everything, past the old Straffs building up near like Somerville?
Dude, he fucking picked us up instead of going left, right over the Charlestown Bridge, he fucking goes all the way to Hanover Street, takes the right, gets on 93, fucking up over the Zakem, down the fucking Sullivan Square fucking exit. I was like laughing. It was fucking comical. Like fucking we're in 93 going from the north.
Well, at least gas is cheap.
Yeah, I didn't care. No, it's my cousin actually. He got a disability, dude. They only got to pay like $3 for fucking Uber. It could be like 90 miles away. It's like a set rate and shit. So he gets the hook up on that. Like he gets so many a month. So I was with him. So it was like fucking $3 ride no matter what. Yeah.
I find that a lot of your grind my gears resort back to transportation.
Oh, dude, I got a problem. Like road, like. The other day, my father's like, "Hey, you want to drive?" Like the city's changed so much for him. He's like, I was like, "Yeah, I'll drive." And I was like pretty chill for my standards, and like Dude was about to stop at the yellow light. Fucking leaning the my father was like, calm down. We're just going to dinner. We're not in a goddamn hurry. I was like, Dad, I just beeped at the guy. And then,
yeah,
of course,
you're an asshole driver, though.
Oh,
You've
but
told me
out.
stuff.
We got to set up a
rage.
dash cam. On
How do you
RA's
get that mad? Like, your dad's right. Like, weren't you just
it's
like
an outlet? It's like become an outlet, I guess, for me. And like, I just have a hair trigger with it. It's not like I'm going to get out and fight.
Grinnell.
And then another dude tried to turn on a one way. And I'm like, I didn't want to beep because my father just yelled at me for beeping. So like, they thought I was gonna hit him. I was like, dude, you asked me to fucking drive. Like, this
Grinnell,
is what you get. You know.
You know what I'm gonna ask.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
No, I said we're
I
doing,
have no idea what you're gonna ask.
we're doing a content piece where we're going on a cruise with RA.
I'm not.
A cruise.
He sounds like he stressed the shit out of me.
No, we're gonna drive from Boston to Daytona, and RA has to drive the entire way. And you have to be in the car, and you have to sit in the back with me. And Grinnelli's gonna be in the front seat. We'll set up the dash cams. We'll get the GoPros out, and we're gonna see how obnoxious this gets.
You know what? I should put the caveat in with like the biz. That's like my city driving. Like when I go to like Vermont for my family trip, like when I go like chill, like I actually can drive slow and enjoy it. Like, so that's something I would drive like a reasonable person. It's more like my city driving self. Like if I'm on, like we drive from Vermont to like, what do you call it? Saratoga. That's like a wicked chill ride. Like I'm wicked mellow. So
I think the craziest part is that you have the 6 to second beeps. Like in my bike video I did the other day, someone beeped at me for 3 seconds and it sounded like the longest beep of all time. And I think Sean looked at me and was like, dude, RA beeps double that. Like, that's insane.
Okay, how about this? How about we should get an Uber sponsorship and RA has to drive Uber for a day and we film it. That would be
all of a sudden
unbelievable.
The stock plummets.
You could at least
negative stars as a
rating. You could at least drive them in the quickest routes possible, Mr. Quick Route guy.
Absolutely. They might shit their pants a little bit, but I'll get them there.
Wait, what else have you been doing with your spare time? What have you been doing with your spare time, G? Anything exciting?
Absolutely nothing. Just watching hockey, putting out 2 episodes a week. Excited to go back down to 1 episode per week, so I have a little time to myself. But yeah, not really doing anything. Just making bike vids. Watch the bike vid right now on YouTube. I drove around Manhattan, 27 miles, and I got hit by a car.
Is there video of like post run over and stuff?
Oh, it's all filmed. Me getting hit, the cop yelling at me, the guy getting out of his car being like, officer, why are you yelling at this kid? Like, I just hit him with my car. And so, yeah, it's all there.
Okay. What about you, Whit? Anything interesting, or are we going to end this thing?
Yeah, living the dad life, you know, just enjoying. Right now, Ryder's got the Little League on Saturday mornings. He's got the lacrosse, Scoops Lacrosse I brought up Monday night. He's got Street Hockey League Friday night. And I go to the range with him all the time. We probably go to the range 4 or 5 days a week. He's, Dad, can we go play golf? We go play golf. I'm like, yes. And then I get to go hit balls. He's hitting balls. It's a blast. So we've actually taken him out on the course a little bit. He likes it. Played
his best sport. Balls. What's his best sport?
He hits the golf ball pretty good. He's kind of he's getting like he's getting taller and lankier like me. Just kind of a goof. Like everyone called me Wheels in Little League because I was so slow. But I've raked. I get lacrosse vibes. I mean, he's tall, lanky. Like that's the lacrosse player. So
nowadays.
lacrosse. Yeah, it's fun. Lacrosse is hilarious. They're just pumping music, like good tunes. And there's different stations where they run down and they throw them in. But they're 4, you know. So it's funny to watch.
You giving up?
Yeah, Biz, I'm just playing a little golf, trying to get the game going.
Sticking needles in his ass yet or no?
I'll be having like
stuff.
Lance Armstrong's right-hand man in my house if he shows any sort of athletic ability at 12. Sorry, Ryder, no breakfast this morning. We're just going a needle right in the back of your arm.
RA, was there anything else you had written down other than that last grind my gears, or are we wrapping up here?
I have one final note to our listeners. Us guys appeared on the Dozen Trivia. It was filmed back at headquarters. I appeared in person. Whit and Biz came via Zoom or whatever it is. Every team got at least one game, so we can't reveal any results, but we can tell you our first game dropped tonight, Monday. I think at 7:00. We'll be retweeting it from our socials and shit. It's all the Dozen. It's actually a really good game show. My friend Jeff Lowe come up with. It's a trivia show with all the Barstool personalities, and it's unlike any game show. I mean, most game shows don't let you say fucking shit and swear, and like it's very raw.
It's a good
very
time.
Funny. It's a real good time. And, you know, we had a blast. So check that out. Dude, we hang up here, dude. I'm going to catch up on Barry, probably the best show on TV right now. And then I'm going to start that George Carlin documentary.
So it's midnight.
Oh, you've been tweeting about that.
It's midnight. You're going to start. So you'll what? I'm guessing 2 or 3 episodes and then a 2-hour documentary. You're going to bed at 5.
I'm Barry. I'm always up to speed on. That's when I don't miss any week.
You just said you're going to catch up on it.
Well, I mean, because it's already it dropped at 9 o'clock. I mean,
tonight's episode.
Tonight's
I'm sorry.
episode. I mean, yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, I'll tackle the column. I fell asleep the other night watching it, but see what happens tonight. I'll give it a whirl.
You can also watch the full podcast on YouTube. Not a lot of people know that. You can watch the full podcast on YouTube. The audio drops in the morning. The video drops at night. So go watch it there. You can see everyone's facial reactions.
Comment on my bookcase.
Yeah, you can see RA's bookcase. It's actually a much better way to consume the podcast.
Yeah, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I know we beg you guys all the time, but it'd be a nice thing if all of you did it and, bump up our followers on the YouTube. That's where our sandbaggers are. That's where you can watch Grinelli get hit by a car. It's where you can watch RA's. What are we watching from our
Grind My Gear segments?
Grind My Gear. There you go. All right, boys.
All right, great show, boys. Had a lot of fun. Everybody have a great week.
I still think the fucking Flames need to wake up, so we'll see you fuckers on Tuesday.
Peace.